Studios. This is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mid, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. Michigan sports aren't just a game, they're a way of life. And now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy. Every
weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
Remember that. Hello. And welcome into the show, everybody. Oh, we got a good one for you. We're kicking off the show with a little bit of breaking news. John Collins, now member of the Detroit Pistons. Give us a moment. We'll jump right into that in no wasting any time. Let's start here, though. The Detroit Tigers, they win in dominant fashion yesterday in New York. They win the series a day early. Dominant win yet again. They are outscoring the Yankees 16-3 in the first two games of this one. 5 home runs yesterday from the squad. 2 from Riley Green, 1 from Spencer Torkelson, who has 14 on the year now, and 1 from Kerry Carpenter. 5 home runs yesterday puts their June total at 49, which was first in baseball last month, and a franchise record, ties a franchise record that was previously in 1937. 49 home runs in a month. It's a lot. Here's the situation, though. You're still 15th across the league in total home runs with an even round number of 100. May cost you the season. You had a really strong June, 15-11, top 10 record in baseball. You smashed a lot of home runs. And look at that. You're still not really in the mix of things. May cost the Tigers the season, unfortunately. We told you guys this at the end of that month. This hole is too big to climb out of. They just had a really awesome June, and it still feels like they are not even halfway out of that hole that they've climbed themselves into. They got to stack June on top of another June here in July and have an even better month than they just did. And it's going to be hard to do that considering they just tied their franchise record in home runs in a single month. It was a good month. It might not matter because of how bad May was. That wasn't even the story of the game, though, the home runs, the multi-home run game from Riley Green, who I've got one more nugget on in just a moment. The story of the game was Tarek Skubal out-dueling the Cy Young favorite, Cam Schlittler. Skubal goes 6 magical innings, 87 pitches, only allowed 1 hit on the afternoon. Of the 20 batters that he faced, 17 of them were down 0-1 to start out the count. He was flawless yesterday. Magnificent outing, flaunting up and down the mound as he was striking guys out. It's nice to see that version of Tarik Skubal back. Meanwhile, the Cy Young favorite, Cam Schlittler, had guys warming up in the bullpen in the first inning because the Tigers took him yard not once, not twice, but thrice in that opening inning. It was a really great, day in general for the Tigers. Skubal was the MVP yesterday, but it's Riley Green that deserves a shout-out right here. Riley Green is the most, he's taken the baton from Jack Campbell as the most underappreciated star that we have in Detroit. People want this guy traded at this year's deadline. It's unbelievable to me the way that this guy gets treated by fans. He suffers from being a A- player. He's not Judge. He's not Ohtani. He'll likely never win an MVP. Once you accept that, it's a lot easier to appreciate Riley Green, and it blows my mind the way that the Tigers' discourse around him can be at times. He's played in 85 of 86 games. So that whole can't stay healthy narrative, completely shut it down. The day off came earlier this week, and he follows up a day off with a multi-home run game. Leads the team in average, career-high OPS. You wanted him to stop swinging for the fences every at-bat and get the strikeouts down. Guess what? He is 2 walks away from his season total last year, and we're just over halfway through the year. He does everything you could ask for a franchise player. And again, he's not Judge. He's not Bryce Harper. He's not Ohtani. He's not Yordan Alvarez. He's not your ideal franchise player because he's not going to ever win an MVP, I would say. Although he's only 24, 25, so you never know. Odds are he's never going to. Once you accept that he's an A- player, it's a lot easier to appreciate. And I just think Riley Green deserves a little bit of appreciation for being a guy who's out there every single day contributing to this Tigers team. He's completely changed his swing, his approach at the plate, and it's led to the best offensive season he's had. This is not the 36 home run outing that he had last year. This is completely different. He's a much more well-rounded player right now. He's a stud, and I'm tired of hearing anything else about Riley Green. Anyway, NBA free agency kicked off yesterday. 6 p.m. was the official open up of free agency. And that was this time that anybody could sign a contract. And growing up in years past, that was the time to be alive. Clear your calendar. Make sure you're ready to go. 6 p.m., the whole landscape of the NBA is going to change. We had LeBron's decision. We had LeBron going to L.A. We had LeBron going back to Cleveland. We had Kevin Durant joining the Warriors on the 4th of July. A lesser version of all of that, but one that I'll never forget is Lonzo Ball going to the Bulls. Free agency, the first few minutes of it, always used to be fun. Yesterday, your 6 p.m. free agency moves. Keon Ellis signs a deal with the Nets. Luke Kennard to the Suns. Zach Collins is re-signing with the Bulls. The NBA has made their league non-user friendly. Between the first apron and the second apron and the tax line, it gets really confusing, and we've gotten to a point with this CBA where there is no real free agency. 6 p.m. rolls around and all the deals are already done. The biggest free agent that's going to change the landscape of the NBA, ironically, yet again, is LeBron James. That's the only true free agent that's on the market that's of real value, that can really put your franchise over the top. Every other player is either already re-signed to a new deal or they've gotten traded and are working to do that. And don't get me wrong, there's still fun offseason moves that can be made. Hell, Kawhi Leonard became a Raptor yesterday. Again. And the Raptors probably passed the Pistons in terms of Eastern Conference power rankings. You could argue the Miami Heat have passed the Pistons in Eastern Conference power rankings. Pistons got to do something, and this morning they did something. About a half hour ago, they signed John Collins. John Collins is now on the Detroit Pistons. 9-year NBA veteran. Last year was 13 points per game. Same amount of attempts from three as Tobias Harris, but a much higher percentage. He was a 39% shooter from behind the arc last season. It's a little misleading because it's not like it's on some high volume number. He's not coming in and being a Duncan Robinson. This is your above the rim threat for Cade Cunningham. They just brought in another guy for Cade to throw alley-oops to. They may have just reinvented Lob City. Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan. We don't quite have that because Cade's not this perennial, not yet, this future Hall of Fame point guard who's been, I guess he has been top 5 MVP finish before. Chris Paul, I think, finished as high as second. Look, there's some sort of reincarnation of that. John Collins is not Blake Griffin, obviously, but this team clearly wants to be above the rim and continue to play the way that they have in transition. In terms of your half-court offense, this is a better half-court offense than it was a year ago. You got rid of Isaiah Stewart, and you essentially brought in Abuka Okori, their first-round pick, 100% an offensive player, guy who can get his own buckets, small as a bug, so I don't know how his defense will translate to the NBA, but that longer wingspan might help him out a little bit. And then you also bring in Isaiah Joe from Oklahoma City, who's another strap-down, lights-out, three-point shooter who can stretch the floor. John Collins, more of an offensive player than a defensive player. They're changing their identity slightly. They got rid of their second-best defensive player in Isaiah Stewart for more offense. And if they can continue to be a top 10 defense, which them finishing 3 last year, second or third last year, I feel like that's not out of the realm of possibilities. If they can continue that mindset, that hustle mentality that has been the Pistons' mantra since all the way back in the 90s, if they can keep that, they have added enough offensive talent to where you think they can maybe be a top 10 offense and defense. Regardless, my point remains the same. NBA free agency itself is not as fun as it used to be. There's not a lot of players that hit the open market. The only guy that's out there that's notable is LeBron James. And I'm telling you this right now. We've got our text line. We've got our YouTube chat. You guys can tell me LeBron is not a fit. I'll tell you why you're wrong. LeBron would be a perfect fit for the Detroit Pistons. Maybe it's unrealistic, but it seems like LeBron's just kind of open to anybody right now. Now, if I had to bet my life on whether or not he'd become a Piston, yeah, obviously the answer's no. But you cannot convince me that he wouldn't be a perfect fit for this team. Cade Cunningham is your lead primary guy the way that Luka was for him last year, so it's not like LeBron's got this crazy offensive workload. Now you've got a secondary guy who can not just create offense for himself, but is maybe the best player of all time at creating offense for others. That's not like a true point guard. The best combination of both of those things has always been LeBron James, and he still got that under his belt. If that can just be your new Tobias Harris, then maybe John Collins should be your new Tobias Harris, and LeBron would go to 3 at this point. It'd still be incredible. It really, you can't convince me otherwise. You might not like him, but to say that it wouldn't be a perfect fit, you're just lying to yourself at that point. So we've got a fun show planned out for you. Between the Tigers, what they did yesterday, NBA free agency opening up, we got to discuss this John Collins trade a little bit further because Kyle's making the case that this is probably a sign and trade to the Clippers. Maybe it's Duncan Robinson. Maybe it's Marcus Sasser, and it's a 3-team deal. We'll see how this thing plays out. Another reason I don't like NBA free agency as much as I used to, we got Shams on this thing. Oh, John Collins is going to Detroit. Okay, but if we all think it's a sign and trade, then this thing's not done yet. He's just spamming us with tweets. Get as much out as soon as possible rather than, have an actual story and a complete trade and a complete move and why teams are doing this. Nah, screw all that. NBA reporting in 2026 is quantity over quality. That part of it annoys me. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. We got a fun show planned out for you. 9 a.m. hour is brought to you by Iron Stack Technology. We talk about the game plan all the time on this show, the execution of it, and that is exactly how Iron Stack approaches IT. They help businesses stay secure, efficient, and ready for what's next so you can focus on your mission instead of your technology. That's Iron Stack Technology, solution-driven, mission-focused. You can check them out online at ironstacktechnology.com.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9. Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
I threw a lot at you in that open, Kyle. I threw a lot at our listeners in that open. Tigers, both offense and defense. The pitching, not really the defense, was incredible yesterday. There's some stats about the rotation the last 3 days between Skubal, Mize, and Flaherty. Things that have never been done in the history of the American League with how good their performances have been. The offense had exploded each of the last 2 days against the Yankees. They steal the series a day early. We've got those two things. We've got a Skubal outdoing Cam Schlittler. We've got Riley Gray hitting 2 bombs. We've got John Collins joining the Detroit Pistons on a non-mid-level exception, so they take up a little bit of cap space to do that. Part of the reason I don't like not that I don't like it, but that it's just not user-friendly. I got to explain the mid-level exceptions and the first apron and what it means if you're over it or below it versus the mid-level exception, and the Pistons aren't using it to bring in John Collins. We've got that part. Of course, we've got the sweepstakes of LeBron James and where he's going to go. So I'm going to throw this to you. This is a choose-your-own-adventure segment. What do you want to go to? Because I threw a lot at you in that first segment.
Yeah, it's not like the NFL free agency is much more simpler, right? Where I can just change any contract I want at any given time.
I think the NFL one is easier.
It's way more complicated.
I don't think so anymore. I think it's easier to explain to a casual fan versus the NBA and the manipulation. Like, the cap is harder to manipulate in basketball than it is football at this point in my mind.
Sure, I just think the reason why I dislike the NFL cap is that it can just be changed whenever they feel like it.
The contracts.
Correct. Yeah. And I just have never understood that.
And the
cap,
restructures.
like the NFL, the cap doesn't exist thing really does feel real. Whereas in the NBA, it clearly does based off of how things have gone over the last several years, with the new CBA and everything.
Feels extremely real, and it's gotten maybe too far.
Sure. We can talk John Collins. I first off just want to say, what are you talking about? NBA free agency sucks. We are having an unbelievable offseason right now. Just because,
yes. Free agency, no.
But that's where you go here. Giannis Antetokounmpo and Kawhi Leonard have been traded in the last week, and LeBron James announced that he is going to another team. And your thought is, yeah, but just because we didn't have somebody awesome sign right at 6 p.m., this sucks. What are we talking about? The offseason is amazing.
Did suck. Yesterday at 6 p.m. was a nothing burger. This in past years has been something that you set your alarm to. Do you need it to
be a nothing burger?
And you're excited for 6 p.m. And that wasn't the case yesterday.
I just don't get this take. We've had 2 mega superstars traded in this offseason, but only because we didn't have a player sign with a new team right at 6 p.m. It's no fun.
I didn't say the offseason was no fun. I said free agency itself. This is factual.
Free agency is part of the offseason. All I'm saying is...
And this part of it is not fun. There's no way you're arguing against the fact that free agency is not fun anymore.
It doesn't need to be fun when we have this stuff going on. That's what I'm saying. We have these mega trades going on in the NBA.
Both can be true. We're getting these mega trades. We're getting Kawhi Leonard. We're getting Giannis. We're getting LaMelo Ball all traded. But when 6 p.m. rolled around yesterday, were you all that excited to see where Norman Powell was going to sign? No, he didn't end up signing anywhere.
I don't need to be excited about that.
There's one free agent that actually matters this year. And I think that is mostly bad for the NBA.
And that's a pretty insane thing to say. There's one guy that matters in free agency.
It's LeBron.
Sure.
Nobody else actually...
No one matters. So John Collins, let's just not even talk about this all day then. It doesn't matter.
It matters in a vacuum to the Pistons, but in terms of changing the landscape of the NBA, free agency is at a weaker point than it's ever been.
But free agency is part of the offseason. The reason why all these trades are going down the way they are is because of the way that free agency is. So it doesn't matter. They correlate hand in hand. I'm not going to sit here and complain that just because there isn't tampering anymore and Lonzo Ball isn't signing with the Bulls right at the top of the hour, that this sucks. I just don't get that. We have some crazy stuff going on this offseason, and it's part of free agency.
And that can be, it's kind of part of free agency, but those are all trades. I'm not telling you that the offseason has been boring, because it's been quite the opposite of that. It's not really up for debate, though, right? That the fact that 6 p.m. rolls around and it's just not the same as it used to be. There's no more Kevin Durant 4th of July signing with the Warriors. There's no more Miami LeBron decision.
Didn't happen at the strike of free agency. That happened a week into free agency. LeBron James didn't sign. What you expect that LeBron was going to sign somewhere right at 6 last night?
No, I didn't expect anything. It was the least excited I've been for 6 p.m. for free agency to open that I can remember, because we're at a point with the CBA and how complicated it is to explain to a casual fan the mid-level exceptions, the different numbers for if you're over the first apron, what your restrictions are, if you're over the second, why teams are just shedding. That part of it is really hard to explain to someone who's not in depth following the NBA. And I think that part of it has hurt the NBA's offseason. Now, it's led to these crazy trades. You're right. The transactions have been really fun. But I don't know if people understand why all of these trades have to happen. And I'm down to explain it, but I'd rather do different topics because it's not as fun to explain apron stuff and CBA stuff and why, certain numbers are the way that they are. That part of it, I think, is why I say it's non-user friendly to a casual fan.
Sure.
And I do think the 6 p.m. stuff,
I just don't understand this at all.
It used to
Name
be.
me a time outside of when Lonzo Ball signed with the Bulls right at 6 p.m. that some major breaking stuff has happened the second free agency opened.
But now we're at a point where we're going to be 24 hours in and nothing's going to happen. This LeBron thing, I don't think he's not going to sign for a while.
There's no reason for him to.
Correct. There's no reason for him to. I'm just saying by the time we actually get to free agency opening up, whenever that date and time is, all the moves have already been done. And it's just happening earlier on in the offseason now. You just have to mentally, accept that fact.
Yeah.
That it's not going to happen all at the same time anymore. It's all going to be between the draft and when free agency technically opens. Because now, in my mind, most of the offseason stuff is done.
LeBron James still has to go somewhere.
Except for LeBron.
That's some of the biggest stuff ever, I'm willing to trade the no one's going to be available via free agency to sign. No superstars are going to be in free agency to sign with other teams if we're going to get these crazy trades that we've gotten. I mean, there have been 4 or 5 huge trades already this offseason. I'm willing to take all of that over not having these guys in free agency. I could care less about that.
And a couple of those big-time
trades are more fun anyways.
A couple of those big-time trades have launched teams potentially ahead of the Pistons. I went into this offseason thinking the Pistons were the second or third best team going into this season with the potential to keep climbing based on how this offseason went. And now Giannis is in Miami. I think that's a toss-up who's a better team right now if both of those guys are healthy.
It's hard to not say the Heat, but obviously they have injury problems.
Yeah, I want to see what their offense looks like.
For sure.
Not a ton of spacing there. So we'll see. But that's a team that has certainly got closer to championship caliber or closer to the Pistons, close the gap at the very least. Toronto now having Kawhi Leonard and Scotty Barnes. That feels like a team that may have passed the Pistons.
It's a pretty sick team.
I like John Collins.
And the Pistons tried to get Kawhi, it sounds like.
Correct. I like John Collins. I wish it was the mid-level exception. It's not. It's a little bit more expensive than that.
It's a pretty good deal.
It's not as much as Miami's done, and it's not as much as the Raptors have done. And I fear the Pistons, even with John Collins, who, again, I like the move. It feels like the Pistons have gotten lapped by a couple of teams in the Eastern Conference, no?
I mean, sure, you also have to, we have to work under the circumstance that they're not done.
Oh, I hope
and
not.
Obviously they're not done because they still have to figure out all of the Jalen Duren stuff. But I think the Collins signing is a step in the right direction, 100%. I mean, this is a guy that making $17 million a year over the next 3 years as your starting four, just in general, that in itself, a starting power forward in 2026 making $17 million a year. Tobias Harris made $26 million the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And John Collins is just flat out better than Tobias Harris.
He is better. How much better?
Sure, that can be debated. He's much more versatile. He is bigger. He's just overall a bigger player than Tobias Harris was.
Bigger guy, probably a better fit with Cade Cunningham in terms of creating your own basket. But similar. Maybe even Tobias Harris gets a win in that department.
I think he probably could, but I think was that always the spot we needed? Was that a good thing that Tobias Harris was the second best guy on the team at getting his own basket?
No,
it helped him in the
playoffs. Now?
Yes, it helped him in the playoffs 100%. But I think outside of that perspective, Collins does essentially everything better than Harris.
Get your own basket.
All of the things we got frustrated with at Tobias Harris in the regular season,
sure.
John Collins just doesn't really do those things. Now, in the playoffs, like we said, Tobias stepped up, and we needed him to be that guy.
Yeah, and I don't think what Tobias did in the playoffs, I don't really think John Collins is capable of doing.
Sure.
And it leads you back to the question of who else is getting their own buckets and create offense for themselves on this Pistons roster. They still have that problem. Meanwhile, Miami just got a 2-time MVP in Giannis. The Raptors get one of their greatest players in franchise history, Kawhi Leonard, back, who is coming off one of the best offensive season he's ever had, and was he second team All NBA last year?
I believe so.
Was he qualified? Yeah,
I think he did. Yes,
he was incredible last year. He was a top 10 player.
he was.
It feels like those teams have gotten substantially better.
I mean,
the Pistons
it doesn't feel like it. They have
stayed the same for the most part.
For now, and that's the hope. The hope is that this Collins move, because a lot of people will probably see this and initially be like, oh man, $51 million given out, this could probably be it, because you still have to figure out the Jalen Duren situation. The reason why I am leaning this as a sign and trade is because, like you said, this is slightly over the non-taxpayer mid-level exception, which is like $16 million. So this does eat into their cap, unless it is a sign and trade, which all of the talk has been the Pistons don't really want to operate into their cap space this early into the offseason. So Duncan Robinson has been the guy, with his non-guaranteed contract that's very easy to send to another team.
Karras, same thing.
You have Karras as well. Like, Karras' number fits pretty well here. Marcus Sasser to the Mavericks has basically all been, like, it just has happened,
Always
essentially.
like Sasser. I'm going to be sad to see him go. He's going to be good for another team. He just comes in and scores.
Yeah.
He's never been a part of the rotation when
Pistons,
everybody's healthy.
Right.
But anytime someone's been down and Sasser's had to fill in, he just comes in and scores. I've always liked it.
Yeah.
I think he'll be good somewhere else.
Essentially, it's where I was going is it's worth noting, if you're a Pistons fan, this does not handcuff them for the rest of the offseason. They're not like, this doesn't mean they're done making any moves. They might be done, but as far as from a cap perspective, like, they're not hindered now. They can still make other moves. They can still go trade for another player to be on the wing to match with Asar Thompson and John Collins.
Well, again, they're going to have to. Otherwise, making the case that they're a top 4 team in the Eastern Conference has become a little bit harder with the Celtics, the Knicks, even the Cavs right now, who beat them head-to-head in a series, obviously.
And if LeBron goes there.
Oh, man. The LeBron sweep. How long do you think this goes on for? Because I think this might be a while.
It's going to take it. Basically, the offseason will be wrapped up. Like, every move will be done, and all the teams will be set, because LeBron has basically said, like, yeah, I'll just kind of go wherever I want. Like, I will, which I never thought
he's going to take
he'll take the vet minimum, I think.
A vet minimum or a mid-level exception,
right,
depending
which is
on
like
who has
$6 million, which I never thought he would do, because it just, people always say that, oh, he's made so much money, he can just take the mid-level. Why would LeBron do that? But now he legit is like, yeah, I probably will.
Well, it's funny because people have been saying that about LeBron for so long. Oh, why would he just not take less? Well, up until this season, he's always been a top 10 player in the NBA. Why would he take less? Now, he's probably outside of the top 10, not too far outside of the top 10.
Yeah.
And he's at the Tom Brady point in his career where he's like, I may as well just pick where I want to go and where I think I can win and do it for way less money, because I'm a billionaire on and off the court. Like, the money that I'm getting off the court is much bigger than any of the money I'm getting on the court. So now LeBron's at a point, too, where he can just go sign wherever he wants. It's very, very reminiscent of Tom Brady with the Bucks.
Yeah. Worth noting, like the LeBron stuff that you say about the Pistons being a perfect fit.
It's a perfect fit with almost every team.
That was pre-John Collins, I think. I'm not saying it's no longer like, oh, he doesn't fit at all. Pre-John Collins move this morning, yeah, LeBron to Detroit, like, made so much sense.
I still think it makes just as much.
From a pure basketball standpoint.
I think it makes almost just as much sense.
He just felt like the best 4, like, you could have had.
Correct. And now he'd be the 3, because John Collins is a 4. Like, there's not a lot of true power forwards left in the NBA.
He is a power forward. And the lobs that if they do figure out this Duren stuff, which you and I are both firm believers that they will, man, Duren and Collins, like, I love the Lob City comparison. Man, it is going to, like, he could break the record for most lobs thrown. Cade, like, most lob assists, for real. Like,
we got to find out what Chris Paul's record is from 2013, 2014.
It's got to be something insane, right? I mean, they threw so many lobs.
I mean, he was like a top 5 MVP finish one of those seasons.
If you don't know John Collins, just from like when he played in Atlanta was his real high-flying days, but he still has it when he was in Utah and the Clippers last year. Just look up John Collins dunk highlight reels. He has some crazy posters.
Has he done a dunk contest?
I think he did in Atlanta early in his career. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
There's not a lot of true power forwards in the NBA anymore. It's a lot of times like 4-5s who can like play the 4 or the 5, kind of like a Giannis,
or just lengthy
wings.
Yeah, just run 3 wings. Yeah,
Collins is a true power forward. He can never play center for you. But he's not really a wing either. He's a power forward.
He's a power forward. Yeah,
rare breed left. There's not a lot of those guys left. It's like how the point guard is basically extinct. The true point guard, the non-scoring point guard, those are essentially extinct. Power forwards, there's very few of them left, and John Collins is one of them. 989-837-6125. You like the John Collins deal? And do you think the Pistons are done? This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. We'll hit the news, keep this thing going. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live here on The Mitt, like I just said. Show is brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Protect your home with Bresky Siding and Building Repair, the experts who do the job right the first time. Whether you have a little leaky roof, storm damage, siding looking tired, Bresky has you covered. Locally owned, trusted, and dedicated to keeping Midland area homes safe and looking sharp. Quality materials, skilled craftsmanship, and service that puts your family first. Do not wait for the next storm. Call Bresky Siding and Building Repair today. Keep your home strong for years to come.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. Appreciate all the new folks in our YouTube today. Hopefully you guys can throw us a like and subscribe. Look, we got a tweet from Amari Sankofa regarding the John Collins deal. The last 2 years of it are non-guaranteed. No specific numbers yet, but only the first year is fully guaranteed. You don't see this all that often in the NBA these days, but the Pistons were able to do it back-to-back off seasons, first with Duncan Robinson, which made his contract extremely valuable because only that first year was fully guaranteed. Now they're doing it again with John Collins. Between these two deals the last 2 years and how Trajan Langdon has been able to thread the needle with the Jalen Duren situation to where, as of right now, you're asking me, like, I have not wavered from the fact I think Jalen Duren will be back on the Pistons. I've never once believed he was going to be a King, a Celtic. I've never once believed he was going to be a Laker because I don't think any of those teams have the cap space or the balls to give Jalen Duren a 4-year, $177 million contract. And the fact that Trajan Langdon has also believed that, and through all of this lip service from all these reporters from Duren's camp of, oh, well, we're going to visit Sacramento, we're going to visit L.A., the Lakers have interest in giving Duren a max contract. All that stuff is lip service, and Trajan Langdon's been able to see right through it and basically play poker and start bluffing, like calling out Jalen Duren's bluff, knowing he's not going to get that contract. If he comes back for less than $40 million, which I kind of feel like he's just going to because it feels like the Lakers are way more interested in giving Walker Kessler $33 million than giving Jalen Duren $44 million. If Trajan Langdon's been able to map all this out and figure out way ahead that Jalen Duren's going to have to come back for X amount of money because no other team is willing to give it, and he just basically was patient, waited, refused to give Jalen Duren anywhere close to a max contract or even that $40 million number. Duren feels disrespected. He's going to shop himself elsewhere just to find out he's not actually being sought after the way that he thought he was. And the Pistons are able to re-sign him at this sub-40 number. Trajan Langdon, like, I'll name my firstborn child after you. He's been phenomenal this offseason. And there's yet to be a true home run type of move. He's hit a lot of singles. He's Luis Arraez. He's Colt Keith from April. Ton of singles. Not like an extra base hit quite yet on his resume. But just keep doing this over and over again, man. And honestly, this Duren stuff, if he gets him for the right contract, maybe that actually is a double. Because this is
a double?
This is a thread the needle the way that I've never seen it before.
That might be a little league home run if he gets Jalen Duren on the contract that they want, because the situation has been handled so far, like precisely exactly how the Pistons wanted it to. Now it has to have an outcome. You know, we can't like give them their flowers yet, but
correct.
The whole like King situation, people don't realize like the Kings can't give them the contract. They have to agree to a trade with the Pistons.
And the Pistons have made it very clear.
Like, why would we do that?
Yeah, the Pistons have made it very clear. We're not trading for Domantas Sabonis, who's maybe 5% better than Duren is right now, but it's 30 years old and it's not going to get any better.
And the only team that had a chance to pay Jalen Duren truly was the Los Angeles Lakers, and they still do. But
sounds like they're just going to go with Kessler for a little bit cheaper.
And the Pistons have done exactly what they should do and stand pat and said, no, we're just going to match whatever you give, so don't even waste your time. So the Lakers have shifted their focus to Walker Kessler. And the Chicago Bulls were a team that might have been rumored. Well, they traded for Nick Claxton, and they just signed Norman Powell today. So they don't have any money to do it. So, yeah, so far this has been a pretty good offseason just for the way that Langdon has operated. Now, you did mention the other teams, the Heat, the Raptors. Correct. Those teams have potentially passed them because they made the bigger moves. I kind of like what Antoine in our YouTube chat is saying, though, because I do understand this. One, he says, I love the John Collins signing. I've been wanting him here for years. This is a really good contract as well.
Yeah, the deal is better than the player in my mind.
The deal is it's a tremendous deal. But he says, I wouldn't be so hung up on most of these big free agent trades. Most of these guys don't even play or remain healthy. I think that is something we do forget about when we get so caught up in the Giannis, Kawhi Leonard. Like, we get so caught up, LaMelo Ball. These three guys just don't play. Like, when's the last time Giannis played in the playoffs? Kawhi Leonard hasn't won a playoff series in 5 years. Like,
I don't think LaMelo's ever played in the playoffs.
LaMelo Ball, yeah. Like, we want to talk about injury-prone guys. LaMelo Ball is the face of that. So I do think it, and John Collins, worth noting, hasn't been the healthiest guy in his career. I'm not going to count the Utah days because his 2 years in Utah was the peak of Utah just resting everybody for the entire season.
One of those years he played 68 games.
Yeah, and last year for the Clippers played 69 games. Like, that's a pretty good amount. out of 82 in today's NBA. So, like, he's not been an injury-prone guy, but has never had, like, a completely fully healthy year going back to his rookie season.
He's never played more than – he played 74 games his rookie year. He's only hit the 70 mark one other time.
But I think that's fine. Also because he's not the star player. He's not the Giannis. He's not the Kawhi. He's not the, he is a complimentary piece.
The contract tells you that. The non-guaranteed stuff is – I don't know how Trajan Langdon gets players to agree to do this. How do you have a GM come to you and be like, you know what? I want you to sign a 3-year deal, but the last 2 years of it, none of it's guaranteed. How does he get Duncan Robinson and John Collins to sign deals like this back-to-back years? He might be a wizard.
Get finessed. Yeah, exactly. A couple of the YouTube chat, Zach in the YouTube chat says, the best part about all this is that he's a true stretch four, and he's never had a player like Cade to get him the ball. He's had Trae Young.
Yeah, I would say
Trae Young was pretty good at that. Like, they were a fun duo in Atlanta, 100%.
Prime Trae Young was one of the best lob throwing. I mean, he's still one of the best passers in the NBA.
Yeah, he leads the league in assists most times when he's healthy. Yeah. So, yeah, he has had a guy. But, like, Cade is a better player than Trae Young, 100%. Like, there's no doubt about that. Brad says, another cool wrinkle, Collins has a little small ball 5 in him, especially with Cade and Nassar as physical defenders/rebounders. And he's throwing in that he still wants Trey Murphy to run a lineup of Cade, Isaiah Joe, Asar, Trey, and Collins, like in a small ball lineup.
How many teams can you run that small ball against right now, though? Because I guess you can run it against the
not
Knicks.
The Miami Heat, not the Toronto Raptors.
Certainly not those two teams.
Yeah, but the Raptors might run a little bit of small ball, too.
I guess you can.
In their ideal
You can
lineup.
run it against the Knicks?
Can you?
Just because Cat's not like a true dot, but he gets so many rebounds.
And they
I don't know if you can.
Mitch Rob with him, too, sometimes. If Mitch Rob stays there, obviously. Cleveland, no. Boston, sure, because Boston will go small a lot of times too, and they don't have any bigs.
The rebounding stuff, I don't know. Collins has never been like a gobble up rebounds type of guy. I guess if they have Durant, it doesn't matter all that much.
Right. I think worth noting. I mean, Collins averaged a double-double his third year in the league. Like that
was a long time ago, though.
But like as a 4, like what do you mean he's not a gobble up rebounds guy? Dude averaged 8 boards his 2 years in Utah. That's pretty good for the 4.
I mean, last year it was 5.
Tobias Harris averaged like 4 rebounds a game in his Pistons tenure, Like, I think that is just the one, to really dumb it down, John Collins is just better than Tobias Harris, and he's on a better contract.
The contract in is itself, what makes it so much better.
He is a better player. He is on a better deal, so overall, upgrade. Tobias Harris probably not going to come back to Detroit at this point.
No,
I'd be pretty
he's going to sign
surprised.
some stupid deal with the Lakers where they overpay him and they just are the most mediocre team ever. That's probably where Tobias's future lays.
Yeah.
Back to LA. With the Trajan Langdon thing, a lot of singles, but you remember the point where Colt Keith got to where it was like, hey man, a lot of singles, going to need an extra base hit here to drive in some runs at some point. That has to happen at some point this offseason for Trajan Langdon with the Raptors putting themselves in that tier with the Pistons, that they've kind of jumped up a tier this offseason by adding Kawhi. Miami obviously jumps up a tier or two by adding Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah. If the Pistons bring back Duren, this is what Scott is saying, are they championship contenders? Are they in that group, or does something else need to happen?
I think they're in the group, but I think it's the same group they were in last year.
Sure.
Like, yes, John Collins is a better player than Tobias, but it doesn't make the team all that much better yet.
Weren't front runners. They were in the mix, but
yeah, and I think a lot of teams are in the mix right now. Now, if they were to add Trey Murphy, okay, congratulations to all these teams for catching up to the Pistons, but the Pistons also took a huge step forward if they were to land Trey Murphy or Michael Porter Jr. That's the double that ends up driving in some runs. Right now, Trajan Langdon's like batting 400 with a lot of singles. Still good, but the OPS is only like 800. Got to drive in some runs. 989-837-6125. Hey, appreciate everybody in our YouTube right now. This has been really fun to see. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the show. Like and subscribe. We're going to keep things rolling. More Pistons, more Tigers. Yeah. They had an incredible back-to-back days. I want to know if the rotation is enough to have you a little optimistic the rest of the season. They've got basically one more month to figure it out because the deadline is in 1 month and 2 days. Yes. The season, in a lot of ways, fork in the road on August 3rd. You have 1 month to make up ground. Is the rotation enough for you to believe in the Tigers making up enough ground to not be total sellers at this year's deadline? Because There are some wild stats about the rotation as to what it's been the last just 3 days. With Troy Melton on the mound today, potentially a sweep against the Yankees. They've beat some really good teams in the American League already this month. We'll keep things rolling here on the show. Like and subscribe if you have not already. This is Ben Bosscher Show live here on the Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building. And Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
Now, I want to get to one of our YouTube comments and address that in a moment. I also don't want to forget that it's Big Win Wednesday. Every single Wednesday on the show, we're doing a giveaway. It's been Tigers tickets in the past, Pistons playoff tickets in the past. Today, we're giving away a free round of golf for two at Sandy Ridge Golf Course up here in Midland. We're going to talk to the owner of the course, Josh, here in a little bit. But regarding one of our YouTube chats that I just noticed, they said, at 100.9 The Mint. Interactive show, by the way. At 100.9
Well, who's saying
The Mint.
this? You got to let us know who's saying this.
Euro Chuck Norris, 6622.
Yep. Rest in peace.
So Detroit is not sweating at all Duran's meeting with the Lakers, their second meeting. They view Duran as a max player. I saw that report that the Lakers view Duren as a max player. Okay, then why are they going after Walker Kessler so much? I think that is pure lip service from Jalen Duren's agent to go to the reporters and just, hey, tell them that the Lakers view Duren as a max guy. Or the Lakers are just saying that to put a little bit of sweat on the Pistons' cheeks. Like, if he was actually a max guy and they viewed him as a max guy, they would offer him that 4-year, $177 million contract. And until they do that, I don't actually think they view him as a max guy. I think this is a leverage play. And Trajan's called the bluff completely.
Oh, they view Jalen Duren as a max player. I view Olivia Rodrigo as a pretty attractive female.
Really?
I can just say that, right? Like, it doesn't
Until
mean
you actually put the money on the table.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't mean that I'm acting upon anything. Like, you can say whatever you want. It's just like how Jalen Duren has said, "Oh, I want to go to Sacramento."
No, you don't.
Actually, no. Now I want to go to Boston. Okay, no, you don't.
I saw that.
You know
too.
what
that
you want,
ridiculous.
man?
You're just naming every team that has a potential sign and trade
You just
guy.
want to get paid, and I respect that, and I understand that. I get why his agency is doing doing that. I also think that his agent is just really mishandling the situation if they don't end up getting the max, which I still think it's probably a less than 20% chance that they do. And so the longer this plays out, the worse it is for Jalen Duren as far as getting paid, 100%. So, yeah, they can say whatever they want. Of course, the Lakers view him as a max player. All right, then max him out.
Yeah,
Do it then.
They're going to have two choices. They can give Jalen Duren $44 million per year, which is the most any other team outside of the Pistons can give him, or they're going to give Walker Kessler a, $33, $34, $35 million?
Something that Utah won't match, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably north of 35, not enough to pry him away from Utah.
And they're probably going to go with that and save $9 million a season rather than go for Duren.
It's also the Lakers, dude.
Yeah, they're interested in every free agent that's ever come.
They just let LeBron leave their team for nothing. Like, this is the Lakers we're talking about.
Not just LeBron, but Marcus Smart, Luke Kennard. They're going to lose Rui Hachimura, too. That franchise is a disaster right now. It's Luka and a bunch of scrum.
Euro Chuck Norris does end up saying they are meeting with him today. There's more focus on Duren now per a bunch of LA reporters. So that is worth noting. Sure.
The LA reporters, maybe the most biased reporters that
if
exist.
I am the Lakers, though, I do probably look at the Duren situation like, hey, we might think it's an overpay to give him the $44 million, the max, the 4 for $177. But having Luka and Duren together,
it's pretty good.
It's like a pretty fun duo to have. So I would, if I'm the Lakers, I could easily convince myself to do it. And you know what the Pistons will say? We're just going to match it.
Yep.
So there's no point in wasting your time. Go after Walker Kessler. Whether or not the Pistons actually truly plan on matching it or not, it's the stance they've taken, which is the right approach.
And they've been so adamant that they will not accept any sort of sign and trade deal that I think it has scared a few teams away from even throwing out that 4 for 177 towards Jalen Duren, knowing that they're just going to get turned down anyway. And also, why would any of those teams in the West screw with the Pistons?
I turned it down.
There's, if it was another Eastern Conference team and they knew the Pistons were going to match, maybe they screw with them to just force the Pistons to pay Duren more money. I don't think any Western Conference team would take that gamble of whether or not the Pistons would actually accept, or match the offer of that max contract that they could throw out to Jalen Duren. I think he's going to make less than $40 million and be back with the Pistons.
I believe so, too. And it's still, he might end up making more than the Pistons wanted him to initially, but nonetheless, the Pistons are going to do everything they can to bring him back, despite all of the, I want to go to Boston, I want to go here, there, blah, blah, blah.
I think
it's going to make me not like Duren anymore, man. Like, God, I just want all this to be over.
I think the fit with John Collins is interesting, though, because it's not like you get an ultimate floor stretcher, but it's certainly someone who's capable of stretching the floor. High percentage from the outside.
More versatile than Tobias, where I think it does help utilize Duren even better, I would say.
Yeah, a much better
Tobias
floor spacer.
was a bit cloggy at times,
Yeah, because he'd catch the ball in the corner and
post-ups. I mean, that's just kind of like Tobias' thing. Collins isn't just going to be posting guys up all the time.
No, and Tobias was a not reliable three-point shooter at all from the corners. He was 32% from the corners. That's bad. That's just a bad number. I'm going to find John Collins' numbers from the corners during this break and have them back for you when we come back. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live here on The Mitt. Like and subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already. Your new favorite Detroit sports talk show.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
Yeah, we'll do our golf giveaway here in about 15 minutes. Giving away course play date for Sandy Ridge in Midland, Michigan. May have seen the Road to 99 videos. I looked it up during that break, though. John Collins, 44% from corner threes last season. Talk about being a floor spacer, and I know Collins isn't this, like, high-volume three-point shooting guy, which a lot of times in terms of stretching the floor, the volume matters a little bit more than the percentage. Like, people were, Domantas Sabonis stretches the floor. No, he doesn't. He shoots 1.5 threes per game, and you, like, clench your butt the whole time that ball's in the air because you don't know if it's going in. 44% from the corner threes for John Collins versus 32% from Tobias Harris last year, where I never really felt like it was going in. Did you? I felt like when Tobias Harris took those corner threes, it was like...
And in the playoffs, I thought everything was going in.
That's fair. He was one of those, like, clenching guys where it's like, every time he shot it from 32% is bad from the corners, man. That's the shortest three-pointer there is on the court.
Yeah, 32 is actually insane.
And now Collins comes in, a 12 percentage point upgrade, plus someone who's not just, someone's closing in. Well, not only am I, going to attack, Tobias would attack the closeout, but then stop when he was 12 feet out and do the post-up thing. And Duren essentially becomes unimportant. And I feel like we're dumping on Tobias Harris, even though he had a really nice playoffs departure from the Pistons.
For
the
sure.
last memories of him will be good. I think this might be a better fit for the Pistons, though.
It just is, and that's the whole
He'll
point.
attack the rim, John Collins. Tobias didn't attack the rim. That's why he was never at the free throw line.
And
ever.
if we're going to do the whole thing where, hey, we're going to choose to do a little bit of ignoring of the Jalen Duren playoffs, like we have to remember what he was in the regular season and going forward as giving him this contract, then we have to do the same thing for Tobias Harris. What were we saying all season last year? Yeah, Tobias is fine, but that's the most upgradable spot. It just is. Despite him being the second best guy on the team in the playoffs, no doubt about it. Thank you, Tobias Harris. We will give you your flowers. The return to Detroit, I thought, went much better than it ever would have as far as his 2 years back with the Pistons.
Sucks to lose him for nothing.
Flip the script on how the NBA views him, too. He was the playoff loser in Philadelphia.
Tobias Harris over me?
For real. And he turned that around. But at the end of the day, we had said all season long last year, the most upgradable spot in the Pistons lineup was Tobias Harris. From a contract standpoint, from a fitting between Asar Thompson and Jalen Duren standpoint. You do that now with John Collins. Obviously, we hope for another upgrade at the other starting spot, in the Duncan Robinson spot, I guess you could say, whether that's a true 2 or you're moving Asar up and you're just running 3 wings.
I want Asar to be moved to the 2. Not that he's a true 2 guard at all. He's not at all a true shooting guard, scoring guard, but I think that allows him to be the point of attack defender. It allows him to guard the other team's best guard at all times. It allows for your defense to be very switchable, very versatile, to just have Cade Cunningham, 6'6", 6'7", Asar Thompson, 6'7", John Collins, 6'10". A switchable defender. You don't really want him on big guys. You don't love him on guards. He's not a terrible defender.
Yeah.
I don't think he's an adequate defender either. He's just kind of he's fine, but he can kind of guard everywhere. And then whoever this last wing ends up being, which is right now up in the air.
And I think what's most important is from the sense that I've got from John Collins, it seems like last year was his most effective year defensively of his career, which is encouraging because you look at the previous situations that he was in, and being in Atlanta and being in Utah, those were 2 just very offensive-minded systems that he was in.
Utah doesn't even count.
Right.
It's just a system
the 2
trying
years of
to
Utah
lose.
was they legit were trying to lose. And the Atlanta, we all remember those Atlanta teams that went to the conference finals that one year.
It's kind of hard for anyone to have good
Fast-paced.
defensive numbers when Trae Young's your point
Exactly.
guard.
And then last year being with LA, which I know they didn't have a good season or anything, but they were a team that had a lot of good defenders on that squad. And so Collins, the fact that he went in with that group and meshed well and turned him he was fine defensively. I'm not going to sit here and act like he was an all-star, but how do we feel about Tobias Harris defensively? Oh, he has his moments. He tries. He's able to guard the bigger guys because he's got some size to him.
He's got some girth.
Exactly. John Collins is just a better version of that. So once again, I think he's going to come in and fit the identity that we know Detroit already has instilled on defense, and he should be able to complement them in that way.
Better in the half court. I think it leads to even more fun transition offense, which was obviously a strength of the Pistons last year. I'm really curious to see who this third wing is, or who this 5th starter is.
Yeah, because that has to be.
I don't think it'll be
depending
Duncan.
on the level of player. It still has to be your high volume 3-point guy. No doubt about it.
Trey Murphy. I don't want it
Michael
to be
Porter Jr. That fit still feels. If it's MPJ, MPJ is just straight up bigger than Murphy too.
If you have Asar 6'7",
Porter, Collins, Duren. You're 3, 4, 5.
Enormous lineup.
Oh my
that
goodness.
makes up for all the lack of size that Duren brings to protect the rim. To have Michael Porter Jr. 6'9",
6'10",
6'10",
yeah.
John Collins
and
6'10".
Porter a hell of a rebounder as well for a wing. They're getting every board. It makes you have every thought that
Asar is a hell of a rebounder.
Sure.
And Cade.
Every thought that you had of, they drafted Ibuka Corey. He's so small. He's smaller than Adam Silver.
Out the window.
Throw that in the garbage can.
That's still true. Adam Silver is taller than him.
Now they could
Adam Silver might actually be sneaky tall though.
He's over 6 foot. Yeah. That's tall for most humans.
Sneaky tall. He doesn't ever look tall because he's next to all the giants. And then Corey walks up there and you're like, no.
Well, the first thing you say when you see Adam Silver is not, he looks kind of tall. No, this guy looks like an alien.
Yeah.
This is a fake person. Wemby. This is an AI human. But going back to the other starting spot, there's also just a world where they do go, it is just Isaiah Joe. It is just the strapped 3-point shooter, and they rely on depth like they had last year. Which
I'd be much more excited if Asar got moved to the 2 and they brought in another high-volume wing rather than a high-volume I mean, Duncan's kind of a wing, but like he's so
he's a wing. He's not small. Like Duncan's not small. He's just hunted defensively.
Yeah, he's thin is what he is.
Yes.
So for that reason, I think he's like more of a 2 than a wing. But if they could bring in a true wing like Michael Porter Jr. to be a 3, and then Asar's the 2, like this is a lethal lineup.
Yes.
Or like LeBron, which is the dream, but it's probably not going to happen.
The good
it's the
news
perfect
is
fit, though.
we don't have to worry about it being Norman Powell anymore.
Yes, Norman Powell
who
signs
just got $5 million more per year than John Collins did.
It's a better player than John Collins, right?
Like better, but
More
like
of an
okay, but
offensive-centric
who would
player.
you have rather had the Pistons get? Like
John Collins.
John
right?
Collins,
like
because
for sure.
you can say, Norman Powell's got better numbers. He's a better scorer, no doubt. Was an all-star last year, 1,000%. But the whole reason we didn't want Norman Powell is because this guy is such a negative defensively, and like, is it worth that boost of offense to have the amount of negative that comes with him? And he's small. No, I'd just rather have John Collins as long as you're going to fill that spot eventually with the rest of free agency.
Antoine said move Joe to shooting guard and bring Duncan off the bench.
I've seen this take.
I think
having
at the end
both
of the day,
them is fine. Like, I think having both of them would be tremendous.
because then you can always have a shooter on the court.
Yeah.
I think having
That was the thought with Herter and Duncan, right? And Herter obviously just didn't end up
Herter's-
playing as much.
he's
Herter's
still around.
here. Yeah, it's true.
I think with Isaiah Joe, with what we've seen with OKC, he is if you're going to be a championship team with Isaiah Joe, he should probably be coming off the bench. I'm not sure if Isaiah Joe starting at the 2 is a championship team. It's not a knock on him. I think he's a great player, but you got to have a really good team to win a championship. And I don't know if I think if he's the starting 2, I feel a little worse about them winning a title.
I don't think it's like the end of the world because like I guess for the Pistons, yes, but like if Isaiah Joe was starting for the Miami Heat next year at the 2, like I'm not sitting here like but they're not a championship team.
Sure, that team.
You get what I'm saying? Like
yeah, that team also has Giannis and Bam.
That's
It's
what
a
I'm
little
saying.
different.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so I don't think it's as clear cut as that. But
Wilson
yes.
said LeBron doesn't have an ounce of Piston blood in him. What do we think?
I mean, he doesn't. He straight up doesn't. He
Do
doesn't.
you think this guy's soft?
No, like not from that perspective. Like he is just. Think about the history of him.
Just because he's beefed with the Pistons and has had. That doesn't mean he doesn't have. I think when people say Pistons blood, they mean the hard nosed, blue collar. Sure. Like the narrative that LeBron isn't any of that stuff is crazy to me.
Well, yeah,
this guy's a ferocious, like competitive animal. I think he'd be a perfect fit for this team. He's exactly what they need: a secondary scorer.
Is he exactly what they need
offense.
now, though?
He's LeBron James. He'd figure it out.
It's a great point. Yeah, he is one of those guys that it's not really an issue to try to fit him in.
Yeah. It wouldn't be at all. People were worried about his fit with Luka. That worked out fine. Like, did they win a title? No.
Sure. I know we're like, I don't want to turn this into a whole LeBron thing, but I have convinced myself that if he went to the Minnesota Timberwolves, wrap it up. And that's kind of what I want.
LeBron.
Now, LeBron going to Minnesota, that just in itself is just like, what?
At that point,
what are we talking
like,
about?
If it's realistic he could go to Minnesota, I don't think it's unrealistic he could go to Detroit. And I think the path to the finals would be easier in Detroit in the Eastern Conference, even though the East is like getting better by the day with Giannis now on a contender.
I still think the
Kawhi
Timberwolves with LeBron is better than Pistons with LeBron.
What's the easier path to the finals?
The amount of playmaking and scoring and then now and defense, obviously, with Gobert that starting unit has is like unbelievable.
But what's the easier path to the finals?
Sure,
I'm not saying that. I agree with you that the
team
Timberwolves would be a better
yeah.
team. But
You're probably right. The path to the finals would be easier in Detroit.
because I think he's
because of
going
the East.
somewhere to be happy and chase a ring. And
Yeah.
like, would he win a Finals MVP on wherever he goes? I don't know. Probably not.
I don't think he really cares about that anymore.
I think he just wants to go.
Stayed with the Lakers, right? Like he
Well,
just wants
he
to.
wouldn't have been
he
the
wants
best
to just
player
go
there
have.
either.
But like exactly that's what I'm saying. Like he just wants to go have fun on a different team for his last year, which it might not even be his last year. That's the part that
I know.
he hasn't announced that. All he did say is, "I'm leaving the Lakers."
What would you put the odds? Like, is there like a? I really don't like
Don't say
relying
it.
on.
No, I don't even say
I'm
it.
gonna do it though. I don't like relying on these future predictor apps.
Yeah,
ever.
I just am so out on all of them.
Are you at all curious as to what the
Not
odds
really.
are for
like
teams?
it's not going to change. Like sure, I'll hear it. It's not going to change the way I feel about like what I think is going to happen. I'm assuming the Warriors are probably still the team.
Warriors 46%.
Yeah.
Cleveland 33%. Miami 15%. That would be petrifying.
Miami.
That would be so scary.
And honestly, with the whole like Kawhi going back to Toronto thing, it almost makes you think, oh man, LeBron goes back to Miami now too.
And he just plays point guard basically.
And then Tim Hardaway Jr. is just like, I'm the only guy who can shoot a 3 in this lineup, so I'm going to shoot 1,000 of them.
San Antonio is 5. I don't think he's allowed to go to San Antonio.
I would just not like that.
I have all the amount of respect for LeBron. I would lose a little tiny bit of respect if he hopped on the Wemby train.
Look, we got a couple LeBron chats. I want to read these because people are not agreeing with you.
Hold on, last one. Minnesota 3%.
Oh, okay. So at least that's in there. That's pretty good.
Well, there's a few more, but they're all less than 3%.
Wilson says, we're not paying LeBron for 1 year anyways. He's a diva. He's not a Piston. And then Truth Teller says no to LeBron, assuming that means for the Pistons. Gary says LeBron needs 2 roster spots, 1 for him and 1 for Bronny. I bet he is telling teams this is a package deal, take it or leave it. Yeah, what's going to happen with Bronny? He's on the Lakers.
He's probably going to be a Twitch streamer.
On a guaranteed deal this year.
He's probably going to go stream with
Are the Lakers just going
to
the Lakers just going to be willing to eat $2.5 million this year and just cut him?
They have no one else on the roster right now, though.
That's what I'm saying. Like they can't afford to just eat $2.5 million. I mean, they have the money, I guess, but
Bronny showed some flashes last year.
He actually is going to be a Twitch streamer. That's so true. That's for sure his next path.
989-837-6125. Hey, let's give away some golf when we come back for Big Win Wednesday. Sandy Ridge Golf Course owner's kind enough to join us here, so we'll get to that when we come back. All you got to do is text in to 989-837-6125. Be ready to text that number, the keyword. We'll let you know what that keyword is when we come back. 10 o'clock hour, as always, is brought to you by Aired Insurance. They're all about putting you in better insurance position, whether it's your home, auto, life, or business coverage. They make sure your protection actually fits your life. If you're looking for a team that takes the guesswork out of insurance, this is it. Be sure to go follow Aired Insurance Group on social media to stay connected today and see how they're helping people every day.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9. Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
We'll circle back to the Tigers. We'll circle back to the Pistons. Appreciate everyone for stopping by our YouTube page today. Josh Krohalski from Sandy Ridge Golf Course owner is joining us here now because we are going to be giving away 2 rounds of 18 with a cart right now. Good for an entire year over at the golf course. So let's not waste any time. Text in Sandy Ridge to 989-837-6125 for a chance to win the free golf. Sandy Ridge to 989-837-6125. I've got to tell you, I'll give you guys a compliment. The course this year, it's the best. I've only lived in Midland for 3 years. This is the best the course has ever been by a mile.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, honestly. And I think the rain that everybody experienced in April helped get everybody started on the right foot. Even though we didn't like it as much at the time, all that water just helped everything get there. But all the work we've put in the last 4 years since we've been there, we're starting to see the results now. Mm-hmm. And that's, I think, where it's all coming from. The grounds crew working on all the drainage out there, all the irrigation, everything that we've put into it the last 4 years. We're starting to really see those results more now than ever. So.
We were out there like way early, like when it was raining one of those days. I ended up golfing barefoot because there was no carts that day. It was a lot of the course was underwater because we had so much rain. It was during that flood.
You're diehard.
Yeah, we were just trying to get out there, and we saw grounds crew guys still working out. It was like this was like early on in season. Like, how are you already sunburned? You're just out here all day, every day, aren't you?
Yep. You don't realize it until after the day's over. That sun is getting you no matter what. So you just gotta be careful. But
especially in this heat. I was telling you right before we went on, I was trying to convince some of the guys here to go golfing yesterday. Heat, just a little bit too much for them right now.
No, right now it is the hottest we're probably going to see all year. Anywhere you golf, honestly, make sure you do hydrate. We're pushing that on everybody this week. We got free jugs of water out there and bottles of water for everybody this week. All the leagues, free water. You just got to stay hydrated. I mean, I'm sure it'll help your game too, because normally people go out there, they're not super hydrated in the traditional sense, right? They're drinking other stuff, but I was hydrated last night in league, and I shot the best round I've shot all year by far, and I'm going to say it's because I was hydrated, so yeah, we'll go with that.
As some of our listeners know, we've got a Road to 99 bit for all summer long. I'm trying to go under 100. I'm not very good at golf, obviously.
Me neither. I'm right there with you.
I'm getting close. First time we went out this year, it was a 120.
Yeah.
We went last week,
Yikes.
Friday. Yeah, thanks, Kyle.
Yikes.
106. I've already shaved 14 strokes off of the original score just this summer.
Time heals all wounds, I guess. The more you play, the better you're going to get.
It helps to continue playing at the same course.
You do have to keep playing. As long as you know the course, that helps. I'd say just keep at it. If you can play more than once a week, that you will see a huge jump. I can't, so that's why I stay right where I'm at usually the whole year. But if you can play more than once a week, or like you're doing 18 holes, that's a huge advantage. You'll hit it no problem. I have no doubt.
I was down in St. Louis for a wedding a couple weeks ago. I played at a course. Obviously, I'd never played it before, and I was like, I don't like this as much. I like knowing exactly where each and every green is.
Yeah, that is the biggest challenge. I get a GPS app. I use one that has all the courses on it, but I always use it for our course too, just because I like knowing how far away is it to the sand trap and this and that. You can do it pretty much any course. It helps a lot, but yeah, I'm shooting from the hip usually.
Again, Josh Krohalski here representing Sandy Ridge. Look at all these people texting in. We'll pick a winner here momentarily for the free golf that we're giving away, courtesy of Garber Chevrolet, who sponsors Big Win Wednesday every week. What's your favorite part about the course? Let's go the course first, and then I want to talk about the clubhouse, because this is the second year of the new clubhouse.
Yep,
which is really elevated.
This will be our first,
the entire property in my mind.
Second full year with the clubhouse. Last year was kind of a half year because we were just getting it done. So
okay, so let's start with the course. What's your favorite part about the course right now?
This year, well, I would say it's because we're seeing all the results from everything. My favorite thing now is being able to work on those fun passion projects we've got. Like hole 18 right now is almost a completely different hole than last year. We changed the greens complex. It's way bigger. but there's also a nice little hazard up in front for everybody now to deal with. So it plays completely differently than it did in the past, and it's just fun to get to work on that stuff versus now we got to do drainage and irrigation. That it's stuff that needs to be done, but I guess most people would say is boring. Now we get to do the fun stuff, and that's the best part.
It's slightly petrifying and slightly mean that I think hole 18 is the hardest hole on the course.
Okay.
And it's slightly mean that anytime I'm like approaching 99 or like, oh, this could be a really cool score, I get up to hole 18 and I just get horrified every single time. Because there's like a mental block with the hill in the
there is. Being a blind shot, not knowing where it's going to go, that's huge. It's good that you're able actually to get past our hardest hole rated is number 16. So you are actually 2 holes later in being afraid of it.
Okay.
That's awesome.
16.
Your mental fortitude
with the
is
water
amazing.
on 16.
Yeah.
That one is tough too.
That's our hardest rated hole. And most people, like you got 16, 17, 18 right there. Those are probably 3 of our harder holes on the course. So trying to do a marathon of 18, ending with those 3 holes, that's already tough. So it's good that you actually blocked out the hardest hole. You skip ahead to the last one.
The renovations to 18 are like the hole itself is beautiful now. The way that it ends, overlooking the clubhouse. We did a station-wide and a loons-wide golf outing there last week or 2 weeks ago. Everyone kind of looking over hole 18 as you come over the hill, trying to find where your ball is. It's one of the more aesthetically pleasing holes on the course now. That
was the whole point. So you get that looking right, and then once we get all the water features in that area, it's just that whole area is just going to be a gem of a view from regardless of if you're in the clubhouse or up at the top of the hill. It looks cool either way. I love it. It's phenomenal.
So tell me a little bit about the clubhouse too, because this is, you said, year and a half into it now. Yep. I think it elevates not just obviously the clubhouse, because it's not just like a major upgrade to the clubhouse. I think it elevates the whole property, because that old, how old was that old clubhouse?
It was built with the course in, 66 or 64, whatever it was when they built that. So it was a 60-year-old building, and you could see it was built one way, then added on, and then added on, and then removed, added on. You could tell it was kind of cobbled together over the years, and it definitely served its purpose. But golf nowadays requires so much more. There are so many more people playing now that didn't used to play back when this place was built, right? I mean, there was a report from the Michigan Course Owners Association that women golfing is up 20% this year over last year. Like there's just so many more people that you want to be able to serve and help them out with what they want. So the golf, but also the out of golf stuff that we can do with events and parties, and just being able to feed people and just have better quality food. It all plays into the whole aesthetics of the whole club.
Yeah, it feels big time. You walk in there, you're like, this is one of the legit ones in the region. So props to you guys for getting that up and running. First full year of it. Yeah, I'm sure you've had a lot of good feedback outside of just me right here too.
Oh, just from our employees, like working in that building, 10,000 times better than the old one. So we appreciate it. So hopefully that translates to everybody that comes to the course too.
Well, Josh, we appreciate you stopping by. I think it's time to pick a winner. Look at all these texts, man. All these people trying to get free golf here.
That's a heck of a list. All right.
Heck of a list.
How do you choose? How do you do this?
Usually I close my eyes and just kind of pick one.
Nice.
Pick one. So we'll do that during this break. Again, I'll give you guys about 30 more seconds to text in. Free round of golf for 2 with a car at Sandy Ridge's golf course here in Midland.
Keyword, Ben?
Keyword Sandy Ridge. Text in Sandy Ridge. It'd help if you attached your name to it as well. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live here on the Mids. We'll keep going with Trey Murphy potentially landing with the Pistons. The move that they made this morning with John Collins. Casey Mize and Tarek Skubal, just phenomenal back-to-back outings against the Yankees with Troy Mellon on the mound tonight. Chance to sweep. Is this rotation enough over the next month for you to believe that they can right the ship before the deadline? All coming up here on the show. Again, thank you to Big Win Wednesday's sponsor, Garber Chevrolet, for making it possible. And thanks to Sandy Ridge. Josh, appreciate you stopping by.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
All right, we'll be right back.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building. on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, congratulations to our guy Brad, not Brad Tunney, but a different Brad has won our giveaway thanks to Sandy Ridge and thanks to our friends over at Garber Chevrolet who make Big Win Wednesday possible every week. Always looking to give something away here on Wednesdays. All right, with that being said, we'll get back to Trey Murphy. We'll get back to John Collins. We'll get back to Jalen Duren's saga that never seems to stop. Casey Mize and Tarek Skubal put together back-to-back phenomenal starts against the New York Yankees. And I'll even take it back a start earlier and include Jack Flaherty. Have you seen this stat that's going around with the three starts?
I think so, the 3 straight thing. Yes.
So let me make sure I don't mess this up. I'm pulling it up right now.
I got it pulled up too.
Then go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so this is sorry, I had to switch something on YouTube. Okay, this stat is pretty awesome. Only twice in American League history has a team had its starter strike out 9+ batters while allowing 2 or fewer hits in 3 straight games. And both of the times that this happened in MLB history in the American League, by the way, it was the Tigers. You had it with Flaherty, Mize, Skubal this week, and it was also with Justin Verlander, Anibal Sanchez, and Max Scherzer in 2013. So pretty cool that it both times was the Tigers, and we always talk about, the elite pitching rotation in the early 2010s. This is a pretty elite pitching rotation right now. Too bad the team stinks, though.
Do you remember at the very beginning of the season, like as the season was starting up, we were like, they have recreated some version of the of Verlander and Scherzer. They've recreated some version of it. When they had that super deep lineup, Porcello was in there too. Anibal Sanchez had a couple of years in there.
Doug Fister was pretty good. Obviously, David Price was there for 1 year.
Yeah, like we thought that they had recreated it with Fromber and Skubal. And ironically, Fromber's been so-so this year. It's been Flaherty over the last, like they played 86 games, I'd say, in the back half of that. He's been lights out. Casey Mize has continued to have an all-star caliber season. And then Troy Melton, who's on the mound tonight, leads the team in the ERA. They've been phenomenal. So obviously they dealt with so many injuries at the beginning of the season, but we are finally starting to see this rotation be what we thought they were capable of being, and that is the best rotation in the American League. That's what we thought this ceiling was for this team, and we're seeing it happen now. They're 12 games under 500 still. We've got a long way to go. Is the rotation enough for you to believe that this Tigers team can potentially get themselves back into the mix before the trade deadline, which is in 33 days, August 3rd? Is it enough?
No.
No. What if the offense continues to hit home runs at the rate that they did the last 30 days?
No.
Wow.
No. Here's the problem.
May was too bad.
This sucks because this 2-game stretch, and we can do the Flaherty stuff too, but mainly just like these 2 games against the Yankees, like what a time for this to happen. Mize and Skubal giving up a hit each, a lone hit, and Skubal obviously gives up the solo home run, so it's like, oh man, like he keeps giving up home runs, whatever.
What is
Who
it,
cares,
7
man?
and 3 starts?
He bounced back, 7 and 4 starts now.
4?
He bounced back and had an unreal stretch there and was just striking out everybody. And this was on a national stage. Like, that was my favorite part about last night is this year's Tiger season has just been so disappointing. And every time they're on TV, you see just like but they could really bounce back. Like, they could use this as momentum. And I was just like, no, they can't, man. Like, they can't use any of these games as momentum. Okay, if they're going to do any of them, it's last night. Because you had the best pitching matchup of the year. No doubt about it. The Cy Young favorite versus the back-to-back Cy Young. And in the first inning of this game, Brian Anderson and the TBS crew are like, I think Cam Schlittler is tipping his pitches. It's like, we're already going there? Just because he's given up 3 home runs?
This guy's warming up in the bullpen already in the first inning.
Essentially, Cam Schlittler had the worst start of his career.
Of any level.
In the first inning last night. Like, he had given up 3 home runs, never given up 3 home runs in a game in his career. He did it in the first inning. Like, it was just a ton of stats that they were throwing out that I was like, wow. And then Skubal on the flip side reminded everybody, hey, I am the real Cy Young, by the way. Like, I know Cam Schlittler, cute, having a good year.
Cute.
Good for him.
Yankees fans are going to love
I'm
that.
the best pitcher in baseball. Now, I've just been injured. And he reminded everyone of that last night, which was great. So if anything was ever going to give them momentum shift to push things forward here, it is doing it last night on a national stage. Cam Schlittler's Cy Young odds went from like minus 115 to plus 150 this morning off of one game.
Yeah.
Pretty hilarious. But that was the best part. The issue is you're playing against a Yankees team that is probably more injured than any team in baseball right now.
I don't feel bad. The Tigers
Sure.
have been there before.
I'm just saying, like, it doesn't, we're not sitting here being like, oh, we're beating the Yankees, the best team in the American. Yeah, they don't have Judge or Chisholm or Bednar or.
You can still internally use it as motivation with or without those guys, right?
Sure.
And that, if Mellon can have another awesome outing today, and it's like, okay, 4 great starting pitching performances in a row.
With Fromber, like, still just being fine.
Yeah.
And then obviously Montero is just, hey, I know you've been awesome as a starter, but you're in the bullpen now because we're too good, I guess.
It makes you feel like, man, if they just went 500 in May, all of a sudden this would be a totally different.
I agree.
Totally different outlook on the season. Skubal yesterday, the swing and miss wasn't necessarily incredible, but he had the 9+ strikeouts. Did he get to 10?
He had 9.
He had 9. He had the 9 strikeouts, 17 of 20 batters faced. He went up 0-1 in the count, or the hitter went down 0-1 in the count. That was precision. And you know how Conor McGregor in his prime had that walk to him, the big dog walk? Skubal's kind of got a flaunting strut to him when he strikes people out. Have you noticed that?
Does. Yeah, I mean, we've always talked about this. He's got the swag.
Well, he's always had the Skubal scream on
when he walks off the mound after a K, he's got that little he's got the big
he flaunts around.
100%.
He sticks his big belly out and just kind of puts one leg in front of the other with his not even his chest out, but his waist out. He walks waist first. It's something.
Waist first.
Well, I was gonna say something else, but got to keep it semi-PG.
Sure.
Yeah, he does just kind of flaunt around on the mound, and Schlittler got destroyed, and Skubal was just walking around like he owned Yankee Stadium. And
I mean, James
it led to
Outman
a great night.
Took this dude deep. This was just a massacre. That was honestly, this could just be hyperbolic because it's recency bias. That might have been my favorite game of the year last night. The fact that it was that pitching matchup in Yankee Stadium on national TV.
It's the most anticipated game of the year for sure.
And Skubal just killed, and the Tigers came to play with the bats and homers. It might have been my favorite game of the year. The only way it would have been more fun, I think, is if McGonigal would have went deep.
He went
just because that would have been
tried
sweet.
to go deep a couple times, had a couple flyouts, right?
But James Outman hitting the home run was just okay, yeah, this is just one of those games.
And it was very similar to 2 days ago as well, where they scored 9 runs yesterday and they scored 8 runs the day before. They are murdering the New York Yankees right now, which hopefully they can snowball into some sort of momentum.
Well, what do you think?
July.
Do you think that this is the starting pitching is enough hope to change your thoughts of how they should operate in a month from now? 9 games back right now in the division.
Yep.
Obviously, they're still 12 games under 500. 6.5 games back in the wild card.
And if they were if that was just cut in half,
10 teams above them still.
If that was just cut in half and they were 6 games under 500 rather than 12.
Yeah, essentially where the Toronto Blue Jays are right now. 40 and 46. They're 3.5 games back in the wild card.
I'd still feel like we can win the division. May was just such a disaster, and we said it at the time, and we're going to continue to reiterate it. It might be too big of a hole to climb out of, and it probably is.
Chicago's been playing well as well, but I thought this was interesting.
They swept Chicago.
But
they beat Chicago, they
then.
beat Tampa, and they've beaten New York in a playoff series, and Seattle, or in a regular season series, and Seattle all this month. Those are all
lost
first
to
place
Houston
teams.
Twice, and
correct. Did you see the thing that they've got the second best record in the American League against teams over 500? It's okay.
I don't. But the American League sucks, though. That to me is not. That's a nothing burger. I will say though, they said this on the broadcast last night, and they said it so casually where I was like, really? We're just gonna do that? They were yeah. Well, the Tigers obviously have the best roster in the division. They just have not had things go well for them this season. I'm just
probably true.
I'm it got me thinking. Cause it feels crazy to say, not just to say oh, they might have the best roster. It's up for debate that they have the best roster. That a team 12 games under 500, 4th place in their division, that is 9 games back of first. We're just all 3 guys in the booth are just well, yeah, they're the best team.
That
they're
was
obviously
the TBS
best
broadcast.
Yeah. They're this is obviously the best roster in the division. I was really? Is it? And it got me thinking. And it probably is.
When they're healthy. Yeah,
even
is.
this version though,
no Javi, no Glaber.
But without Glaber, I would say no. If Glaber was back, the case could be made, and hopefully that's not the case that the Tigers front office is going to take at the trade deadline because
they're still above 500 when Glaber plays, which is wild.
Sure. How many games he played in now?
29?
Yeah, like it's not a lot.
Let me make
Yeah,
sure.
Pizza Man,
Might be
they
more.
would have to go 65% wins on the balance of the season to even sniff the wild card, which is pretty high. The win percentage would have to be a
Is there any
650.
team in baseball that has a win percentage that high right now?
Yeah, I mean, I would assume so.
I don't
Actually,
know.
no,
That's
you're
really
right.
high.
The Dodgers. Dodgers are a 651.
So they have to be the Dodgers for the rest of the way.
Which the
we
Dodgers
saw them
record, by
do
the
last
way,
year.
is 56-30. So essentially, the Tigers would have to go 25-ish games above 500 the rest of the way. Which
Is that to get them to 5? Like, what is that
that's
projecting
to get
them to 85
in,
wins?
Yeah, I mean, well, right now, I mean, they have, what are the Tigers at? 37-49. So I guess I can't really do that math quick enough in my head, but
Glaber's, they're 23-20 when he plays. I also can't make sense of how they hit so many home runs in June after like hitting the least amount
I
in
know.
baseball in May.
man, and Riley Green, you've always talked about, really had a big end to it as well. He had to get those last couple bombs in
After his
June,
first day off.
with the last day of June as well.
This guy has become the most underappreciated guy in Detroit. People want him traded at the deadline, and I can't believe it. He gets one day off. He's played in 85 of 86 games, and the day after he has a day off, he hits 2 home runs.
Gary says, if you have the best roster and still last in the American League in wins, what does that point to? AJ Hinch.
I mean, yes. I think I've done like a full 180 on AJ Hinch this season. I've always been defendant of him. I've always shielded him. I have nothing to say about AJ Hinch positive anymore. I really don't. The pinch hitting has gotten old. The pulling guys early has gotten old. It's just been bad decisions. And Joey Cora also, by the way. There might need to be a referendum on whether or not he should be the third base coach. Because the amount of times he sends someone home and they're out by a country mile at the plate is pretty frustrating. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on the Mint. Like and subscribe on YouTube if you have not already. Tee up at Sandy Ridge Golf Course. You just heard from Josh, the owner, not too long ago. This is Midland's hidden gem where every round feels like a little bit of a getaway. Now featuring a brand new clubhouse, part lounge, part hangout, all class, perfect for cooling down or talking smack after 18. Smooth greens, scenic fairways, and enough birdies to make your buddies jealous. Whether you're a weekend warrior or just there for the vibes, Sandy Ridge has the game and the chill. Book a tee time and plan your outing today or stop by. Pretend you know how to read a green. That is Sandy Ridge, the hidden gem that's way too good to stay a secret.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky's. by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. It is July 1st. It is not too early, and it is not too late to work in a little bit of football. As always, something we do here on the Ben Bosscher Show. We'll take a trip around the league.
It's time to zoom out and go around the league.
All right, Kyle. Do you remember last week when we did an NFL redraft and we did all the players just back in it who would go number one overall?
I still have that. I still got that pulled up.
Well,
Sean,
NFL.com did a version of that. But they specifically did win now. Like this upcoming season, win now. Who would it be?
So this is legit just the best players in the league.
Like Stafford goes a little bit higher in this one versus where he went on ours.
Wait a
because I think
second,
you and I
Ben.
were building towards the future. Is there breaking news?
No, I'm playing with you. Mike Conley to the Celtics. Gotcha.
I thought you were going to say LeBron signed
With the amount of
somewhere.
breaking news that we've had on the show in the last 2 weeks, I feel like I could pull that card and it will always work. Anyways, back to around the league.
Don't become the boy who cried wolf with it, though.
Oh, okay. I will say, actually, we'll save this Collins stuff for next hour. There's another little tweet about the contract.
Yeah, we'll open up the 11 o'clock hour with John Collins. So I gave out mock awards for the first round of this year's draft. The best pick in this draft was the second overall pick, Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen goes 1 on NFL.com. Patrick Mahomes goes 2. I'm going to give credit to the second pick here. I think that's the best pick because probably should have just been number 1 if it's for this specific season. I still don't really get it. You're in the camp. Josh Allen better than Patrick Mahomes. How about he goes to 1 Super Bowl before we say that?
Ooh.
Just 1 singular Super Bowl. Can he do that? Can he win 3 playoff games in a row?
That's crazy.
Can he do that? Because Mahomes has done it
That's crazy.
5 times.
No, that's crazy. Well, who's going to play more games this year, Allen or Mahomes?
I think they're both going to play 17 games.
Who played more games last year?
Josh Allen.
Who's coming off of a serious injury? Wait, who's not coming off of a serious injury? If I need a guy for this
Josh
year,
Allen.
I'm taking the guy who I know is healthy.
Fair enough. I gave the worst pick out to number 8, Jordan Love. In what world does the
8?
NFL get redrafted and Jordan Love is a top 10 pick?
What are we doing, dude?
I
Jordan
don't
Love-
understand the Jordan Love.
See, I think it got to a point a year ago where the Jordan Love stuff actually went the opposite way, where people were so in on Jordan Love that they started to convince themselves they were out on Jordan Love, and then it was everybody was out on him. And I was like, okay, I'm a pretty big Jordan Love hater. I think we did this as a topic one time, but I think Love is the most overrated player in the entire league.
Is he
in
better
all
than
of
Baker
the NFL.
Mayfield?
I think no, of course he's not.
I don't think so either.
And I think he's the most overrated player in football. But I think there was a point where it got too far. Now it's reversed. Everyone's back in the offseason oh, yeah, but Jordan Love.
Jordan
Man,
Love
what
doesn't
has
excel
Jordan
at
Love
one
ever
specific
done?
thing.
What is he at? Give me any example of Jordan Love elevating his team.
Give me one.
He's fine. I'm not saying he's bad, but he certainly is not a top 10 quarterback.
He's like the DJ Moore of quarterbacks. He's just a B+ player. He's not bad at anything. He's a good player. He's not an A player, though.
I'm trying to think of a pop culture thing to describe him to. I've been really trying to work on
Who's
those.
the most mediocre actor?
I know.
Or a really good actor, but
someone,
not great.
No, a fine actor who everyone thinks is really good. That would be the person. But I also don't want to be rude, and I don't really know.
Towards an actor.
Or a musician too. I don't really know.
Anyway, next one.
Yeah. Anyways,
long-term consideration. This one goes to Drake May, who goes 6th. You think he'd go 6th if it was a win now?
Drake May.
Yeah, the quarterbacks that go ahead of him are Lamar, Burrow, Stafford, Mahomes, and Allen.
I think that's probably right around the same. If we were doing the quarterback ranking right now, who are the best quarterbacks in the league? I think May is right around that outside of the top 5 range, right?
I have him over Burrow.
Okay. I probably wouldn't.
The biggest overreaction on this list is JSN being 19. Now, the actual pick of him being 19 isn't the overreaction. Him being the first wide receiver off the board is an overreaction. If we were to rank NFL player for win now specifically wide receivers, I'm sorry, there's just a handful of guys I'm taking before JSN.
A handful.
Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, who's the biggest snub from this entire first round.
Jefferson for sure. I'd probably take both
not even
of
in
those
this
two.
first round, by the way. That's my award for biggest snub.
I think
Justin
JSN's
Jefferson.
probably fourth. I don't know if 3 guys is a handful.
And Puka.
Yeah, I don't. So like maybe not. But Puka also has enough stuff going on where I'm like maybe I just would take JSN over Puka to avoid all of that. So I don't think it's that big of an overreaction. I mean, the guy was the offensive player of the year, but I do agree. Like the case for JSN in any sort of a redraft is that he is the youngest guy out of all of those guys.
But this is a win now one.
For sure. So I could agree with you there.
I gave out an award for, wait, we took this guy and then this guy went next? And that was when at number 26, James Cook got taken, and then the very next pick was Christian McCaffrey.
James Cook?
Over Christian McCaffrey, yeah.
Any running back?
Oh, there's a lot of running backs that got taken in
What?
this.
James
Jameer
Cook?
Gibbs was the first one off the board at 17.
Okay.
Jonathan Taylor at 22. Saquon Barkley at 23. James Cook at 26. CMC at 27.
Where's Bijan?
I missed
He had
Bijan.
been in there.
Bijan was 20.
Okay, I was going to say.
The I'm
That's
pissed I
dumb.
went this late award goes to Jamar Chase, who goes 30th. I named that one after Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Like Jamar Chase going 30th behind all of those running backs.
Is crazy.
Who was the first defensive player off in this?
Myles Garrett,
What or like where at? Sorry.
13.
Really? 13. So it's just all QBs before that, probably.
You want to guess who the second one was? Will Anderson.
Really?
Third?
And this is a win now.
Third,
Micah Parsons?
Aiden Hutchinson.
Man, that's crazy.
Micah Parsons.
It's just
not
because he doesn't
on the
play
list.
like as much snaps as those guys? I don't know.
Not on the list, Micah Parsons.
Really?
Penei Sewell is the
injured?
first pick in the second round.
Okay, it's
got to
be because of injury, by the way, for Parsons. It has
he's
to be.
in the second round at 46.
What?
Yeah,
Man, the Parsons stuff has gone a little too far, too.
that's around the league.
All right.
All right, when we come back, we'll jump back into the Trey Murphy thing. Kyle, you said you saw an update on the contract. Is that what it was?
Yeah, just a little update on what potentially could be the move there.
Okay. The potential sign and trade, I assume, is what you're alluding to. We will give you that update when we come back. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Just search The Ben Bosscher Show or The Mitt, wherever you get your podcasts as well to listen back to it. Subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already. We'll be back with the Pistons.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
This is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mit. WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
All right, welcome back in. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mits. Trey Murphy potentially becoming a Piston, who knows? But what we do know for a fact is John Collins is a part of this Pistons team. Kyle, give us the Keith Smith update on this John Collins deal.
Yeah, Keith Smith, salary cap expert in the NBA, of course. He's a good follow on XD Everything app if you want to know about the rules of the NBA. He quotes this Sankofa tweet that you talked about, the final 2 years are non-guaranteed. We don't know the specifics on how they're non-guaranteed yet, but Keith Smith saying, this is further evidence that the Pistons will be acquiring John Collins via sign and trade. In a sign and trade, a contract must be for at least 3 years, but only the first season has to be fully guaranteed, which is literally exactly what is going on with this John Collins deal. He says the Pistons could tie this into the Isaiah Stewart to Memphis trade or as a part of something bigger. So this is likely going to be attached into some other trade, which is like they could tie it into the Isaiah Stewart trade. Sending away his salary is part of the sign and trade rather than Collins eating into their cap.
How does it end up with us getting Trey Murphy? How does that end up being
one
the
I
outcome?
don't have the answer for.
Yeah, it gets pretty complex with a lot of
Ooh,
this
Mo
stuff.
Wagner to the Brooklyn Nets. Michigan.
So they
man.
just swapped Mo Wagner for Vucevic? Orlando did? Is that what I'm
Sure. He's on a 2-year, $19 million deal, so more expensive.
Mo
than
Wagner
Vucevic.
got 2 years, $19 million for not being a rotation guy for the most part for that team? What?
Yep.
Okay. Sure. My favorite part about this John Collins deal is the fact that he shoots 44% from the corners, from the three-point line, whereas Tobias Harris shot 32%. That is a 12-point percentage swing for your power forwards' corner threes, especially when your center's not going to stretch the floor. I don't think that can be undersold as to how important that can be. Plus, so that automatically is going to make the transition or the half-court offense better. Plus, the transition offense should be equally as fun, if not more fun this year with John Collins in for Tobias Harris because of the vertical threat that John Collins brings to the table. Between him, Asar, and Jalen Duren, you're right. Cade Cunningham might set the record for most lobs thrown, most lobs connected with in an NBA season ever, if he can stay healthy. I don't know what the Chris Paul record is. I assume he has the record from Lob City. But they have some Walmart version of that with Collins. Obviously, Collins is not Blake Griffin. But between Asar, Collins, and Duren, Cade's going to have half his assists come from lobs throughout the course of a game and in transition offense. And even in half-court offense sets as well. This is going to be a really fun offense. And when you take into consideration, they move off of Isaiah Stewart. They draft Abuka Okori, purely offensive player. They bring in Isaiah Joe, way more of an offensive player than a defensive-oriented player. And now they're bringing in Collins, so it's not like, if you want to view it as a Tobias Harris one-for-one swap, I'd say they're probably somewhat equal defenders. He's not as good as a defender as Isaiah Stewart, who's playing a lot of 4 minutes as well, obviously. Not a lot, but a good amount. But a better offensive player than either Stu. Probably Tobias in terms of off-ball offense. On-ball offense, that probably goes to Tobias Harris. But I think the half-court and full-court offense just became a little bit better throughout the course of this offseason, not just the John Collins deal. I expect this to be an upgraded offense.
So it looks like they just track the alley-oops between a duo rather than just lob assists is something that isn't necessarily tracked all time-wise. So we're not really going to find out. Chris Paul, Tyson Chandler, though, is actually the record in the 2007-2008 season. 107 alley-oops connected on. Which it makes sense because with Lob City, he had Blake and DeAndre.
Split up.
In New Orleans, he was just throwing them all to Tyson Chandler, it looked like. So 107. That's unbelievable.
In 82 games.
That's over one a game. It's over one lob dunk a game. It's wild.
Nonetheless, I think this is a better offense today than it was yesterday. I think it's a better offense today than it was at the end of this past season. And if that was the goal, they've certainly accomplished that. But they are yet to truly take a step forward. They've taken baby steps forward this offseason. They have yet to take one leap forward, whereas the Heat have taken a leap forward and jumped themselves into that top tier in the Eastern Conference with the Pistons, the Knicks, the Celtics, the Cavs can stay in there for now. The Heat are now in there, and I think Toronto has inserted themselves into that conversation as well with Kawhi Leonard. The Pistons are yet to make that move to actually be a leap forward rather than a little baby step forward. And that move can still happen. I think Jalen Duren has to get re-signed before that move happens. And I think it's 95% likely that Jalen Duren does end up back with the Detroit Pistons. I think Trajan Langdon has thread the needle perfectly this offseason in terms of, yeah, go ahead, Duren. Go see if any team will offer you. And then Duren's agent and Duren, okay, we will. We're going to go to Sacramento. They're interested. We're going to go to L.A. They're interested. And then when both of those teams inevitably don't have the balls to give Jalen Duren $177 million over the course of 4 years, he has to come back for the Pistons. And it seems like Trajan Langdon has just played this out basically perfect and betting on the fact that those other two teams are not going to offer him that crazy deal, which means he's just going to have to come back to Detroit on less money than he expected. And if that's the case, Trajan Langdon, God bless you, man. You figured it out. He'll deserve a lot of credit for that. However, there still needs to be an additional move to find that fifth starter. Because right now, I don't think the Pistons know exactly who that fifth starter is.
Yeah, right now, the order of operations for the Pistons this offseason has been executed pretty perfectly. The way that they've handled the Jalen Duren situation up to this point, we feel it is the most proper way that you can, expecting that he doesn't actually get the max from the Los Angeles Lakers. Who knows? But it doesn't seem like that will happen because the Pistons have positioned themselves saying, hey, we're going to match any deal that you get. You give them the max, we're going to match it. So there's no point even wasting your time. And then now this John Collins move, which is just an upgrade at the 4 spot from you had last year. If they do add Porter or Murphy here to be the wing next to Asar and John Collins, it's going to be really difficult for me not to just be extremely biased and say this team is winning the East. Like that starting five, the size that they will have, the rebounding ability specifically if it is Porter. Like Porter brings the best combination of rebounding plus 3-point volume, like with the amount of threes that he's going to take, and he is just bigger than Murphy is. That is an unbelievable group of length that the Pistons would have in their starting unit.
It makes up for having a slightly undersized center. 100%.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be an issue.
No, not at all. Especially because Duren makes up for his undersized center stuff with the rebounding. Defensively, yeah, he's a little undersized to protect the rim, but it's never deterred him away from grabbing as many rebounds as possible on the defense or offensive side.
Yeah, I mean, like if you just look at those guys, Duren, we know the rebounder that he is. John Collins, we mentioned it throughout the show today. His final 2 years in Utah when he was truly getting a ton of run, over 8 rebounds per game from the 4 spot, pretty good. Michael Porter Jr. is over 5 rebounds per game. We know what Asar Thompson can do. We know what Cade Cunningham can do on the glass. Like this team is going to be the best rebounding team in the league. If you add, I'm just saying, if you add Michael Porter Jr., that's a big time if. But it sounds like, from everything that I'm reading on Twitter today, and this is just post John Collins signing, that the Pistons are not done. And of course they're not done because they have to figure out the Jalen Duren thing. But I think on top of that, they still have plenty of flexibility and wiggle room to make more moves. I mean, they haven't traded any assets away yet. This is just a signing of John Collins. And even if this is a sign and trade, it could just get thrown into the Isaiah Stewart deal. It could just be Karis LeVert getting tossed away. They still have assets to move. They haven't moved any picks. Right. They still have Ron Holland. They have all of their assets to actually move still, including the Duncan Robinson deal, which is attractive for a team that needs to shed cap. So a lot of opportunity still at play for Detroit.
If they can land one of those two guys, Trajan Langdon might move into the number 1 GM in the city.
Might.
He probably does.
Who's he have competition with? Scott Harris?
Holmes. I mean, Holmes has the reputation. Holmes has the best resume of any of the guys, for sure. But if Trajan can add Michael Porter Jr. or Trey Murphy,
it would be an actual real big move, and it's something that we have been starving for as Detroit fans of any team for quite some time.
Yeah, I am thrilled with the way that this has gone so far. They still need to find their 5th starter. I do not think Jalen Duren will be on any other team but the Detroit Pistons. Trajan has thread the needle perfectly. I'm optimistic about this Pistons team going forward. But I still think, as of right now on July 1st, Toronto's gotten better than the Pistons have in a vacuum. Miami's gotten better than the Pistons have in a vacuum. New York, you just have to say, is better than the Pistons right now. We'll see what happens with Boston and their Jaylen Brown saga. Also, by the way, like if I was doing Boston radio, I'd be banging my head against a table every single day. Like, why would we trade Jaylen Brown? They won a championship together the last time they were healthy. I still don't really understand.
Well, and
that
like,
one.
I mean, if I'm doing Boston radio right now, this sucks because you have
everybody
Kawhi,
getting better.
Kawhi going to Toronto,
Yeah.
Giannis going to the Heat. Oh, the Pistons are getting better. The Knicks just won the title. Philly is making moves. Like, what are we doing? We're sitting here waiting around to see what Jaylen Brown says on Twitch tonight.
Oh, by the way, John Collins, Asar Thompson, Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren. Is there a better group of guys who can just put you on a poster at any point in the NBA? Those are some ferocious dunkers.
Yeah.
All four of them. Nasty, like above the rim. Nasty. Because Cade really started to become like a guy who goes up and wants to finish with some emphasis last season. And we had never seen that version of Cade before. I think when he came back from injury, he was almost like hesitant to go up with that much power. And he started to do it a lot last year. Like it felt like he was dunking once or twice a game. And he wasn't, but it felt like it. And Asar obviously has caught some crazy posters. John Collins has the best poster reel of almost anybody in the
he's
NBA
got some
at
crazy.
this point.
Remember though, a couple years ago when he got dunked on by Anthony Edwards, that dunk? Like legit the most vicious poster maybe in league's history.
Yeah.
That was
Why
on
would you-
John.
why
That was
would you
on
bring
John
that up?
Collins. Look, something like I was thinking of John Collins' highlight reel, but all I can think about is that because that dunk is so bad. We have our first YouTube chat's been great today, by the way. A lot of positive feedback. Troy, though, he does not agree with you on Trajan
Troy
Langdon.
Brinkle?
Ben. Just Troy. Troy 6679. 67. He says Trajan is horrible at drafting and trade deadline. The only thing he's good at is free agency.
When is he not drafted well?
Guy drafted Trey Murphy.
Yeah, he's been an incredible. He didn't have a draft pick his first year he was here. How can he be
Ron
bad at
Holland.
Oh, yeah, I guess Ron would. Yeah, I don't know. It's not like Ron Holland's a bust. In trade deadline, the move that he made last year at the deadline was savvy, even though it didn't get the Pistons over the hump and there was more to be desired. It was savvy because it allowed them to move up in the draft, which ultimately led them trade up in the draft yet again, and they got rid of a ticking time bomb of Jaden Ivey, who's no longer in the league.
Still waiting on that notification to see where he's going to sign.
He's done. He's never playing basketball again. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. Live here on 100.9 The Mitt. 11 o'clock hour brought to you by Yiter Insurance. Life happens fast, and at Yiter Insurance Group, we're here to make sure you're covered every step of the way. Locally owned and trusted in Midland for decades. They treat you like family, not just another policy number. From home and auto to business and life insurance, Yiter is the right coverage for every stage of life. Their team makes insurance simple with expert advice and real people you can talk to. That's Yiter Insurance Group. We'll be there when you need us since 1940.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The
coming without no money, girl. Come on.
In Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
You hear him on our airwaves in the mornings. Anthony Bellino now joining us here on the Ben Bosscher Show, a little crossover. Anthony, how's it going? I heard you talking to Isaiah Thomas this morning. How'd that go?
Ben, I'm doing well, man. Doing well. He was great. It was an awesome event last night that Greg Campy and the Oakland University Golden Grizzlies had. They brought out Rick Mahorn, Isaiah Thomas, and Rip Hamilton as a part of, in the current state of college athletics. And this has always been a venture for college programs. Doesn't matter, what team you have, whether it's basketball, football, water polo, right? You're always trying to raise funds. And in the NIL era, it's never been as important as right now. And to be able to get Zeke up there with Rip and Rick Mahorn and to get the authenticity of those guys in a panel where they just literally sat and chopped it up and, gave us a behind the scenes where they were just literally being themselves, telling stories and talking, and really brought the audience of about 200 people into their living room. And I thought that was really something special. And I'll tell you, Coach Camp, he's got some work to do to try to follow that up for next year, because it was an awesome event.
Well, Anthony, there was something specific I wanted to have you on to talk about, but then the Pistons signed John Collins. So let's start there. What was your initial reaction, and what have you come to the conclusion about with this John Collins deal now that we've gotten a little bit of the contract details as well, with it not being fully guaranteed? Seems like this is likely to be part of a bigger sign-and-trade move to where maybe the Pistons can acquire another player with this process. But what do you like about the John Collins fit?
I like the pickup of John Collins here because, as you mentioned, with the sign and trade, right, there might be another level to this, depending on how the cap flexibility works, with Jalen Duren's situation and what they want to get accomplished there. So that's going to be a big portion of this as well. But just John Collins as an individual player at his age and what he provides, from a shooting perspective. They've also added Isaiah Joe. We know that they have a lot of love for Kevin Huerter as well. I think that they, Trajan Langdon being aggressive right now, knowing that, hey, this team needs shooting, we are going to go get some shooting, right? And so if you just look at the roster, the way it's constructed as of the moment that we are having this conversation, our shooting has gotten a lot better in Detroit. So I like the pickup of John Collins. I think that he has a lot to offer. I think that he at sort of like late 20s age range where he provides enough years of experience in the league. He can offer you a lot offensively, just not only shooting threes, but also twos. He's a great finisher at the rim, consistent free throw shooter. I like this a lot, and I think it signals that Trajan knows that this window is opening right now, and I think that's a really good sign for just Detroit sports fans, where if you compare this to what Scott Harris, hey, same roster, different players type of deal. No, our team's going to look a lot different than what it did this past year.
Yeah, perhaps a step back defensively, but they were so high up there amongst the league rankings and defensive rating that they can afford that if it means they're going to take a step up offensively. They get rid of Isaiah Stewart, obviously defensive player, bring in Collins, who was 44% from corner threes last season compared to Tobias Harris's 32, which is kind of a putrid number from corner threes from a guy who can theoretically stretch the floor. I don't want to discredit Tobias Harris too much because he was so unbelievable for the Pistons in the playoffs, but it does seem like that tenure has come to an end for the second time, and I'm fine with it. They're bringing in a much better shooter. They bring in Isaiah Joe, obviously. That fifth starter, though, because right now it's Cade Cunningham, Asar Thompson, John Collins, and I don't know about you. We can get into the Jalen Duren stuff in a second. I'm just working under the assumption, and I always have been, have not wavered from this for 1 second, that Duren will be the center next year. Who is that fifth starter going to be? Because I don't think it's anybody on the roster right now.
Yeah, that's a really, really good question right now. I'm with you on Jalen Duren as well. And Trajan's been pretty boisterous about talking about we want him back. So even if he does, get an offer from somebody, I think that the Pistons will match it. To be honest with you, the $200 million number, I don't know why anybody is really concerned about that. I don't really see that as, 5 years around 40 million. Like, okay, like I can see that working. I can get down with that number in its existence. I don't want to compare him to Andre Drummond. I think that he's got a lot of potential there when it comes to Jalen Duren. I think the ceiling's pretty high. He's got a lot that he can work on with his game. Now, as far as that fifth starter, that is a dynamite question. That is a really, really good question. I don't know. And this might sound kind of crazy as well. I really wanted to see what Okori's going to offer. Ibuka Okori, the first round selection. I am all in on this kid. I mean, his left-hand floater game. If all you saw was his left-hand floater, you would have no idea that the guy's not left-handed. I mean, he was incredible at Stanford this past year. They thought he was coming back, like trying to be able to replace his production is going to be a huge problem. I wouldn't be surprised if there are, a lot of nights where it is Cade and Ibuka 1 and 2. And run with it. And I never understood this theory that there could only be like one guard with the ball, and it happened with like Jaden Ivey when he was back there. Like, how are Jaden Ivey and Cade Cunningham going to coexist? Well, how did Chauncey and Rip coexist? How did Joe D and Isaiah? You have to have two guards back there. So I'm very, very intrigued with what they're going to do with that two-guard spot if they do end up moving on from Duncan Robinson, because if it's a sign-and-trade sort of situation here with Collins, it doesn't close the door on Duncan Robinson. Only $2 million of his salary is guaranteed. So I think as of today, I don't know how to predict that. I think it's early. But I'm intrigued on the direction that this goes. I think that this offseason that the Pistons have done enough to spark the Detroit fans' interest to raise their eyebrows and say, you know what, this is a general manager that has a vision for what he wants this team to do offensively, and I think that's a positive sign.
I haven't thought about Okori being the second starter because in my mind, like I'm not saying that could totally happen by the end of the season if Okori ends up hitting the ground running. But in my mind, they're going for even more length, even more size, and to have Cade Cunningham 6'6", 6'7", whatever he is, Asar 6'7". Now they have John Collins 6'10". If they can add another wing, like as a part of this John Collins deal, that maybe they send out Sasser, they send out Karras, and somehow the big time trade they end up back with Trey Murphy as kind of the guy that every Pistons fan has been circling for a while here. If that could be your starting lineup in some sort of massive trade and you end up getting him back, which is still totally on the table for the Pistons. I think they have to get the Duren thing done first, but Trey Murphy's still very much out there. Then all of a sudden, you see Toronto. Obviously, they've gotten a lot better and have put themselves in that top tier in the East. Miami has done the same thing. New York is obviously still there. Boston, for now, is still there. Cleveland, I guess, is still there. The Pistons haven't gotten substantially better yet, even though we just talked about the marginal upgrades that they've made. If they can bring in a Trey Murphy as a part of this massive offseason, and all of a sudden you're looking at that lineup of Cade, Asar at your 2, even though offensively he's not really a 2, he can be your point of attack defender, and then you have Trey Murphy, John Collins, and Jalen Duren as that to me is a championship team.
Yeah, I mean, don't let me go down the path of getting my wish list up here because you mentioned Trey Murphy. I'm still not out of the hay. Is Michael Porter Jr. Is that still even an option? Is he happy in Brooklyn? Like, I mean, he's kind of said like I didn't expect to be on a team where where losing is kind of like one of our options here. If Trey Murphy or Michael Porter Jr. is available and they can take a huge swing, you can trade the picks, if it's Ron Holland that has to go with it, if it's a Duncan Robinson that might have to go, Karis LeVert, however you have to make any of that work, you absolutely have to go, because I think that you're right. Trey Murphy in that lineup with that group that you mentioned, got Michael Porter Jr. to play the 4, kind of slide everybody else down a spot with Jalen Duren. I mean, yeah, I think that I'm not concerned about Cleveland at all. As long as they have James Harden, they're never going to win anything. New York, obviously, the defending champion, you're going to have to work around them. I think Boston's got a bit more dysfunction there than anybody really cares to admit, because the willingness for them to deal Jaylen Brown, I think that just kind of speaks to the fact that, hey, you're going to give up a $300 million player and you're looking for suitors. That's a problem. Kawhi to the Raptors, that one really doesn't scare me a whole lot. And even the Miami Heat, they gave up so much for Giannis from a depth perspective. I don't know what they're going to do. Norman Powell signed earlier today with the Chicago Bulls. I really didn't think that, even though he had an all-star season, I didn't think that Miami could afford to lose a guy like that, just because I don't think they have the depth in order to compete. I mean, God forbid you have an injury or some foul trouble. That changes the entire dynamic of a game or a season. So if you add a Trey Murphy, if you add a Michael Porter Jr., Trajan Langdon becomes the immediate winner of the offseason, regardless of what the rest of the league does. And the Pistons, even though they were the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference with the regular season, I think that everybody kind of had an eyebrow raised. I think you maybe win, 10 to 15 games purely based on effort in the NBA in the regular season. We saw that kind of ramp up in the postseason. I think that you can even look at the Magic series. Had Franz not gotten hurt, we probably lose that series. But if Trey Murphy or Michael Porter Jr. comes to the Pistons, we are the bona fide favorite in the Eastern Conference.
There's one more name I can think of that you could throw on that list. What if LeBron James came to the Pistons? It's like the perfect fit. You got a secondary scorer. You got a secondary scorer, secondary offensive hub, guy who can create shots for himself and others. This would also put them in that championship tier, Anthony. I don't know how you could even debate it.
Ben, can I get with a little more emphasis? Can I get a little LeBron James? Yeah, I don't know if LeBron coming here to Detroit, I don't know if that's in the. Now, if he goes to Cleveland, that definitely changes the dynamic there in Cleveland. I think that would immediately alter their trajectory a lot, because I think that kind of puts James Harden in check a little bit.
Same with Miami.
There in Cleveland. If he goes back to Miami, if he could get back on the same page with Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley after that relationship soured, and he gets on board with Giannis, any team that you're going to add him to, or obviously Golden State, because that's the one everybody wants to talk about as well. When you add LeBron and he's not going to go play around for some team that's going to be kind of where the Lakers have been at the last couple of years, fighting for a play-in berth, he wants more. I wouldn't be surprised if the Eastern Conference was a priority for him, because it's the path of least resistance, right? You don't have San Antonio. You don't have OKC. You don't have to worry about, hell, even a team like Denver or the Houston Rockets with Kevin Durant. If you can get back to the Eastern Conference, that pathway looks a little bit different than the West. So, yeah, LeBron James coming east, I could see that. LeBron James coming to the Pistons, we'd sell a lot of jerseys. I think there'd be a lot of hype.
I'd buy one.
Hanging up in the studio behind you.
100%. Anthony, we appreciate you stopping by. Always good catching up, especially Pistons with you. Again, you guys can hear Anthony on our airwaves in the mornings. Tomorrow morning, what do you got? Give a little tease to the people. You got any plans? It's too early.
Tomorrow morning it's going to be even more on the Pistons, even more on NBA free agency. The Tigers with a 135 little matinee. Can they complete the sweep of the Yankees and just, teeter it right in front of us? And I'll tell you what, for your listeners, and you've done a great job. If the people out there are listening and they have an X account, you should be following Ben. If you're not, remember the follow button, because your coverage of not only Detroit sports, but especially the Tigers, man, it's been invaluable. Like, you're digging up some random stats here, and I'm like, oh yeah, Ben's got a good one here. You know what I mean? I say that to myself consistently multiple times a week, man. So if the Tigers can just give us one more win, just to bring us, just to reel us in just a little bit more before they let us down by the end of the week, I think that'd be another great week in Tigers baseball, my friend.
Well, appreciate you, Anthony. We'll be listening tomorrow morning. All right.
All right, partner. We'll see you. Thank you.
Have a good one. All right. We'll hit the news when we come back. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Minute. We'll get our 3 traditions in as well. All still coming up on the show. Like and subscribe on YouTube if you have not already. Hey, quick heads up for all the parents and athletes out there. If you've got kids in spring or summer sports, fall sports already starting. Football starting. for high schoolers already.
In July?
Not like two-a-days, but like they've got their workouts and stuff already. These kids never take a day off.
Too hot for that.
It is too hot for that. Regardless, when it is time to get ready, make sure you have the sports physicals covered with Great Lakes Spine and Medical. They make the process fast, easy, stress-free, no long waits, no bouncing all over town. Plus, you're not just checking a box. Their medical team looks at the overall movement, flexibility, and injury prevention to help athletes stay healthy all season long. Whether it's school sports, travel teams, or rec leagues, Great Lakes Spine and Medical is a great local option to get it done right and on time. Appointments easy to schedule. Get those physicals done now and be ready for game day.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building.
Oh, what a good time to hit the news. During that commercial break, we got a great update for you regarding Jalen Duren. Kyle, take it away.
The Mets Morning Catch.
Yeah, we did, Ben.
Oh, my God.
Pretty good
Trajan
one as
Langdon
well.
is a genius, man.
Nothing specifically happening with Jalen Duren, but happening with a close competitor, and more specifically, a team that wanted to go get Jalen Duren. The Los Angeles Lakers, during that commercial break, are acquiring Walker Kessler, the big man of the Utah Jazz. Very similar to Jalen Duren. He just got off of year 4. He was a restricted free agent. He's a pretty good rim protector.
Say the number.
They traded 2 first-round picks to get him, 2 unprotected. God, this guy's got the biggest smile on his face ever. 2031 and 2033 first, along with 2 swaps going back to Utah. But this is the more important part for the Pistons fans. Kessler signing a 4-year, $130 million deal with the LA Lakers, which is about a $32.5 million annual salary, a.k.a. much, much less than the max that they could have given him at $44 million, which means they knew that they weren't going to pay Jalen Duren that. They knew that the Pistons saying, hey, we're going to match any deal you get was a legit thing. So they decided to, this thing that we were talking about earlier, that the Lakers were going to meet with Jalen Duren today, scrap that.
Let's simplify it. There's not another team out there that can go get Jalen Duren anymore.
The Brooklyn Nets could.
But there's been not a single buzz about it. No one else can go get Jalen. No one's going to go offer Jalen Duren anything. The Lakers just signed a center for $32 million. The Kings don't have the money. Boston has just signed a center too in Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah, that just happened during the break as well.
There's not another team for Jalen Duren. That guy is coming back to Detroit.
On a good number too.
On a phenomenal number. We thought there was a slight scare there when he was going to Sacramento and LA. Then maybe it ends up being $44 million. This is going to be closer to the $32 million number that Walker Kessler just got. What an offseason for Trajan Langdon. Being patient, calling out the bluff, playing poker the whole time. There's not a team left for Jalen Duren. He has 0 leverage. There's not a single team that's going to be able to offer him. Correct. I love this. And he's going to get way less than he probably could have gotten.
Yeah, so now at this point, the only way that this goes sour is if Duren does get to a point where it's like, okay, we've gone too far in his agency, or like we just refuse to play for Detroit, which won't happen.
Yeah, that would be insane.
It just won't happen. So, yeah, it sounds like we're going to get him back at a pretty good number. There's no reason to even give him as much as Kessler got. Like, he's probably a better player. Probably.
For sure a better player.
Probably. Depends on what you value more.
Walker Kessler didn't play
the
last
defensive
year,
guy. Did he? I thought we were talking about Kessler.
No. We're not talking about
I just wanted to make sure. So, yeah, that's the big news there. Just want to double check we're not missing anything. Player option in the 4th year for Walker Kessler. That just comes out. So, Kessler adds to the white guys they got over on the Lakers. Nice.
The white team.
They are the white dudes. That whole squad.
Is there another team in the league that has 3 white guys?
Their 3 best guys are white dudes. There's no team in the history of the NBA.
2 of them are American too.
Okay, let's do some other stuff in the news. We've been covering the NBA free agency all day. Let's do a little bit of World Cup news, because tonight, Team USA in a knockout round of 32 against Bosnia. It's at 8 p.m. What? Something else happened?
No.
Oh, you're just excited about soccer.
Super excited.
Nice. So, yeah, we're pumped up for that game tonight. Team USA's first game in the knockout round. Last night, we had 3 matches. Norway wins 2-1 over Ivory Coast. France, 3-0 over Sweden. Saw that one coming. In the late game, Mexico knocks out Ecuador 2-0. Tigers-Yankees game 3 today. It's at 1:35, as Anthony Bellino just mentioned in that previous segment. Troy Melton against Will Warren. Tigers going for the sweep. We'll see if they can do it. We'll see if they can continue to hit all these home runs at Yankee Stadium, because that's what they've been doing as of late. And speaking of home runs, Ben, we mentioned Josue Briseño yesterday, making his return to baseball in 2026. Well, just his second game back last night, he went deep. He hit a home run last night in just his second game back in 2026. That's a good sign. I'm assuming he's not going to spend too much time in the Florida Complex League, and he should be back with the probably AA Erie at some point shortly. But who knows? Maybe he'll get the jump to AAA. I would assume AA, though.
I would assume AA as well. You may as well start there. There's not any sort of rush.
For
It's
sure.
not like he's playing Major League Baseball this year at all. So,
more Tigers news. We'll take a look at the Covenant Healthcare Orthopedics and Sports Medicine injury report. This is some positive news. Jackson Jobe yesterday had a live session against hitters. This was actually this weekend, but it got told to us yesterday by AJ Hinch. He had threw 100 miles per hour multiple times in this live session. Hinch says he'll still likely get a lengthy rehab assignment in his return, but things that seem to be going pretty well for Jackson Jobe on his progress to return to the bigs. I mean, he's going to be back this year. Like, I think that's
you think
kind
he's
of
back to a bullpen
that's
role?
the update that bullpen role.
That's what he was when he debuted. I mean, where's there room for him in the starting rotation?
It'll be
now?
post-trade deadline. We're talking about trading three starters.
True. Yeah,
you know?
You're right. My bad.
So,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay, dude. So yeah, we'll see when Jobe eventually gets a rehab assignment, but it seems like the live bullpen sessions have been going well and probably have gotten to a point where maybe it's time for the real deal. So excited for that. Maybe Jackson Jobe rehabs with West Michigan.
Ooh.
We play them in July here.
Ooh. You think he'll be rehabbing that soon, like within the month?
I mean, like he's throwing 100 in live BP. Like,
yeah.
What the step after live BP is rehab.
Yeah,
no, his rehab assignment will probably be long, like Hinch does say. Like, it'll probably be multiple starts. But if it's with West Michigan, that'd be pretty hype. Bring him to Midland. More news. This is positive news coming from Michigan basketball. All right. We saw the news this weekend that Elliot Cadeau is to return to Michigan. That was an obvious one. This is an important one, though. The Cincinnati transfer big man, Mustafa Cham, is staying committed to playing for the Wolverines this year. The 7'2" big was really good for the Bearcats last year and seems to be like the next awesome big man for the Wolverines. He is announcing his commitment to stay and play for Michigan next season, which is, of course, very important. Probably means a lot of the other transfers are going to do the same. The next thing is just getting the thumbs up from the freshmen, which it sounds like they might just keep everyone, which is pretty crazy if they do.
This is one of those guys that I totally forgot was committed to play for Michigan next year, and then I got the notification that he was staying. I was like, oh, I forgot about this
he's like
guy.
their best transfer, yeah.
Someone to be very excited about.
100%. We didn't give the full details on the Kawhi Leonard trade, so let's do that now. Kawhi Leonard traded to the Raptors for Brandon Ingram, Grady Dick, 2 first-round picks, and a swap. Pretty good return for the Clippers. I know we've been kind of gassing up Toronto all day, and I think their team is obviously really good. But for a final year of Kawhi Leonard, pretty good return, I would say.
Incredible. I think
we were talking about what the Pistons would have had to give it up. It wasn't this.
No.
You got off the Ingram contract, which is pretty important. The Ingram deal's not great.
But not a chance in hell I would have given up the 2 first plus the swap plus the 2 seconds. Is that what it was?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a win-win trade in that if you're Toronto, you have to go for a swing. You weren't anywhere close to being a contender before this, so you may as well go for it. And if you're LA, you just got a crazy return for a 34-year-old
expiring, which he'll probably re-sign. So it's worth giving up if you're Toronto if he does sign the 2-year extension. Gary's requesting I play this clip, so I'm gonna.
Michigan fans, they have nothing to worry about.
A little quiet there, yeah, but shout out to you, Gary. So pretty good return, I think, for Kawhi Leonard, no doubt about it. We'll do one more thing here in the news. It's Bobby Bonilla Day. So in a day that we're spending a lot of time talking about salary cap numbers in the NBA, let's talk about it in Major League Baseball. The 63-year-old Bobby Bonilla cashes another $1.2 million from the New York Mets today, plus an additional $500K from the Baltimore Orioles as well. This is year 26 of a 35-year, $1.2 million per year deal for Bobby Bonilla.
Is this deal worse for a team than the Alex Cobb deal? I want to make an Alex Cobb contract day because that's still the worst contract that's ever been handed out.
It's a one-year thing.
$14 million to do nothing.
That's a good point.
We need an Alex Cobb day.
We do. We should make that a celebration here on the show, like the day he got signed or something. Shout out to Max Scherzer, too, because also on this day, he is being paid $15 million from 2 different teams that he currently does not pitch for. And he also had another team in between these teams. The Washington Nationals and the LA Dodgers are both paying $15 million today to Max Scherzer. Shout out to him, man.
What a league
Mad
this
Max.
is. They're going to get rid of all the deferred money, and then we can't have any Alex Bonilla days anymore.
Alex Bonilla.
989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live on the Mitt. We'll get to our 3 traditions when we come back. Tick season, it's ramping up across Michigan, and these pests can carry diseases that affect both people and pets while hiding in tall grass, wooded areas, and overgrown landscaping. At 4 Seasons Exterminating, professional flea and tick treatments help reduce tick problems around your property so you can enjoy your yard with more confidence this summer. 4 Seasons offers lawn care, mosquito treatment, termite service, general pest control, and commercial pest management. Learn more or schedule service today.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Myth.
All right, we have 3 traditions to close out each show. The first tradition we have, I like to call it our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Sad update for the people after yesterday, Kyle. Go ahead.
Yeah, it didn't hit. Yeah, Scooble 3 up, 3 down. Hey, got the first 2 outs. Then he gave up a home run. Didn't hit, and that means in June, you didn't go up in June. 0.09 units down in June. Just barely under. You had a chance to go 2 months in a row positive, which I don't think you've done 2 months in a row positive ever. Yeah, no, you haven't. You've only got 3 positive months in a year, so that would have been pretty huge.
Thanks, man.
Didn't hit it, though. It's okay. You're still up on the week, though, so far, since you were 1-1 on the week and you hit a plus money bet on Monday.
All right, well, today I'm going to the World Cup. Team United States, they're like minus 500 tonight, so it's not like there's a ton of juice on just taking their money line. But I am going to take Balogun, I believe is how you pronounce that, to score a goal. He was on fire during the group stage. I think he scores another one today, so that's what I'm going with.
Plus 105, too?
Yeah.
A little bit of juice.
He's their goal scorer. So that's what I'm doing for my lock of the day. What do you think, Taylor Fade?
I mean, I got to tail it, right?
Yeah,
I feel like it'd be pretty unpatriotic during the week of July 4th. If I was just like, nah. But Ben's soccer bets, I think, is just a smart fade. I just think it's a smart fade.
It's a natural fade.
It's a lot of good, bad karma coming back his way. So I'll still tail, though.
Thanks, dude.
Yet.
That's our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
All right. Next thing we have is our game of the day.
Game of the day.
It's USA, man. USA. I feel like anytime the United States is playing in a elimination type of game, knockout stage here, it's got to be them. So the goal is, if they win today, it'd obviously be an incredible disaster. The next thing is
they lose, you mean?
If they lose today. Yeah. The next game that they play in the round of 16 is basically their, well, if they lose that one, it's like you hit par. If you win another one and get to the final 8, the quarterfinals, that's like an enormous win for Team United States.
Guy just wants to play golf.
I do want to play golf.
Yeah, and like the other games today, like England versus Congo, Belgium versus Senegal. I don't care.
Mexico ended up winning last
What?
night?
Yeah.
They did?
It was in the news.
Oh. All right. That is our game of the day.
Game of the day.
I got 2 words for you. Steve Nash and Chris Paul. Must-see TV.
I'm scared as hell of the Detroit Pistons.
Last thing we have. Guessing what Colin Cowherd is going to open his show with. I don't know. Whose turn is it to go first? I'm conflicted
I
today.
don't know, he says. Okay, that makes it pretty easy. It's my turn to go first. Neither of us got a point yesterday. Led with USA Soccer. We should have got that. But John picked it, actually. So, like, John would have gotten a point. He's not on the scoreboard, though. My turn to go first. Episode 270, trying to tie it back up, 62-61. Ben's in the lead. Lakers just made a trade that feels like it just should be the auto lead. I know it happened pretty, like, leading up to the show. But I am going to go with a L.A. Lakers lead. Oh, they got rid of LeBron for Kessler. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that kind of thing. I like it. I don't mind the pick. I will go with Team United States Soccer being in action.
I guess
tonight.
Kawhi did get traded yesterday after the show.
That's true. He
did. Pretty
did.
good. He likes talking Kawhi. Yeah, but the soccer pick is probably actually the real pick.
I'm going with Team USA Soccer. He loves it, dude.
He does.
He's like embracing
it's his jam.
It. Yeah. Okay, that's going to do it for us today. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Crazy amount of people in our YouTube earlier during the show, so that was pretty cool to see. Yeah, that's going to do it. Like and subscribe if you have not already. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok is where you can follow us on social media. Wherever you do it, we're there. Just search The Ben Bosscher Show or The Mitt. And we'll talk to you guys tomorrow for a Thursday show. See you later.
The Ben Bosscher